Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
How did this happen?
Hello.
This week
Good evening.
brought to you by...
Burnie, you're back, Burnie.
Hey.
It's been a month.
can't
It's
do
been
it.
since April 7th, I think, since you were on a podcast. Or April 6th.
And I have been around, but I'm pretty sure I've just been gone every Sunday night. Or Monday night, sorry.
Also Sunday, because we
there-
haven't done Game of Thrones.
That's the other thing. Like, while this has been going on, I have not seen a single episode of Game of Thrones in my house because I have been away.
I thought you were bragging so much about seeing the first 2 episodes before everyone else, and now you're behind everyone.
And then I got behind on everybody else.
Only the first
I'm,
2?
I'm,
I saw the
I'm
first 4.
so glad that we are at we've passed episode 4
Of the podcast?
of this season of Game of Thrones because, you know, the first 4 episodes leaked before the season started. And using social media was like navigating a minefield of spoilers.
A nightmare scenario.
And that's why I didn't even talk about
Worst
it
ever.
until we were through those first 4 episodes.
Nightmare.
I didn't see anything.
I saw tons of shit.
Like directed at you or
Yes.
just okay.
Did you see that the next
Because they know we
4
liked Game of Thrones.
That's a dick move.
Yeah, but you can't spoil anything because the most recent episode had material that was not in the books at all.
And that's what was spoiled, was stuff that happened in the TV show that hadn't happened in the books. That was different.
So you're
So
screwed.
if you've read the books, you're now at the point where people can ruin it for you. Look at my beautiful. They look like Triceratops things from the side, don't they? But they're unicorns.
What was someone said about rats?
So
Meg said there were rats in those shoes.
someone, Meg, what'd you say about rats? My shoes had rats.
There are rats in the box that those shoes came in, apparently.
Why are you wearing them? There's probably like rat shit and...
What? Why are you so germophobic? I'm
there's
sure
a
it's
rat
fine.
Germophobic?
Yeah. I'd wear fucking rat shoes. Why not?
You would
Yeah, germophobic. That's not being germophobic. That's basic level cleanliness. I don't want to stick my feet in rat shit.
You're wearing socks that you'll wash later.
Come on, it's like rat.
How filthy are you?
Pretty filthy.
Jesus. So gross.
I have a laundry machine. So
I
I'm
feel
good.
perfectly fine.
The thin layer of sock fabric will protect me from all the disease and grossness of rat shit.
It will.
I've never heard it referred to as a laundry machine.
Well, you
What
know.
do you call it?
A washing machine?
Washing machine?
I think I was referring to both, the washing and the drying all in one
Your laundry machines.
machines.
So
You
were the
can get
rats
too far.
dead when the box was opened? Unknown.
Well, I mean, you checked inside.
They chewed up a Minecraft sword?
You checked inside, though, right? There's no
I'm wearing little slippers on my feet.
but there's
I'm
no
not doing
poo-poo
anything.
inside, right?
Nothing weird. I'm not eating them.
That's gross, right, Gavin?
Yeah, it's gross,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
You realize pretty much rats and bugs have touched everything that you come across, right?
Yeah, there's poo on everything, too.
Yeah.
So,
Did you guys talk? I've been gone for a while, as we've already covered. Did you guys talk about that they did the study about poo in people's beards?
Yeah.
And that got tweeted at me like 20,000
Well, didn't another one come out that said it was a load of crap?
Yeah.
Literally.
So there was a video that was posted on Reddit just yesterday. It was, my hair's like crazy today.
it looks beautiful. Don't judge.
It's like poof. It's like,
I woke up like this.
It's a bit zhooey.
yeah, so Barbara did compliment me on it.
I
She
did.
She walked up, she goes, your hair looks nice today. And I was like, yeah, thank you. And then I see this and it's like, no, not at all.
Well, maybe I just like it a lot more because of my upbringing.
Are you more into Jewish people?
Like, in terms of appearance or
Like sex? Having sex with them?
I mean, if I count, like, if the ratio, there's definitely less Jewish people to non-Jewish people.
Really?
But
I
there's
think there's
less Jewish people in the world.
There are, that, yes.
Yeah, so how are you on a global... Okay, look at Gus.
Right,
actually.
yeah.
Statistician over
Let's
there,
draw
keeping
this
it
line
real.
out.
I think there's 14 million Jews left in the world.
Now, would you say, though, that post high school, is it called high school in Canada? Or are they called, like,
Secondary.
timber school, like lumber,
School.
lumber grade? They after that high school period, have you dated more non-Jewish people? Was it pretty much Jewish people before that?
I only dated one Jew.
Only one?
Only one.
Really? Did you date anybody else in high school? More than one person? Oh, no?
No, I dated someone from the ages of 16 to 22.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Good years.
Good
All
guy. Good guy.
gone. All gone.
No.
I don't think I ever met that guy.
No.
Which sounds weird because Barbara's like 16 to 22, but I've known Barbara since she was
14.
14. Really? Since you were 14. This is how weird because now
A decade wasted.
Don't think of her as 14. Go back to thinking of her as like the 23-year-old that she is today. You're welcome, by the way.
I'm almost 26, but...
Yeah, you're
Oh,
welcome.
I see what you're doing. I mean, thank you.
This was something, I don't know why this occurred to me, but we were just out drinking or talking about being drunk or something like that because I went to a lot of different places last month, and there was a lot of different parties and that stuff. And
Brag about it.
we talked about people getting their drunkest, and for whatever reason, it hit me. I've never seen Barbara drunk. Like, I've never seen Barbara, like, completely obliterated. You, Gus, I have definitely seen that way many times.
It's Monday, right?
Right. Gavin, I have seen that way, and I fucking hate that person.
I see Gavin that way like once a week.
I have never seen.
What do you mean?
Used to.
Oh.
Have you guys ever seen Barbara drunk before? Ever?
I feel like I must have at some point.
Yes, I have.
Like, what kind of drunk is Barbara? Is she like a sloppy drunk?
I think Barbara is a sloppy drunk who laughs nonstop,
So what I am normally.
like amplified.
you just go way more glass-eyed and like loopy and sort of like.
I don't know what that means at all. I have no idea.
I have no idea what that means either.
I feel like I should apologize for some reason. So you did something.
If you're listening
awful.
to the audio version of the podcast, Gavin just made a really obscene hand gesture.
Yeah. Let's
You
cut
go
that
very
out.
sort of
So
slurry.
did you see her drunk?
Sorry.
No, it just
Oh,
came up.
okay.
We were talking about people at their drunkest. Like I was saying that I hadn't been at my drunkest. I got drunk on the trip. We went to Cannes. I got as drunk on the first night there. That's the drunkest I'd been since New Year's the previous year. I used to go a long time where I don't get really drunk. Even though we have all these fucking dumb stories about me being drunk and merchandise based on me being drunk.
Pax Prime was still my favorite.
I really get drunk like once a year.
Yeah,
That's
it's a shame.
That's
Cat
being
bug.
generous.
Once you have,
I think it might be less than
This was
once
about a
a
year and a half
Yeah.
between them. So I got pretty drunk at the first night at Cannes. Just like, you know, you're drinking and you get that little voice that goes, you should stop. Yeah,
You mean
exactly.
Ashley?
And you either listen to that voice or you don't listen to that voice. If you don't listen to that voice, that's the last thing you remember. Is that
I
voice
want
going,
to
nope.
kill the part of my brain that recognizes the drunkenness and immediately thinks I should get another whiskey. Like, I hate that part of my brain. He's an idiot.
I saw you really drunk at South by. It was right after the podcast, and we stayed at that venue because we had to like finish our open bar tab,
Oh right.
and it was like
Yep.
$10,000 worth of
You had
drinks we had to drink.
So have you ever? How often do you get drunk then?
Not often at all. I don't know if I've ever actually been like blackout drunk.
Like hammered.
I've never been hammered. I think I've thrown up from being drunk only once,
Oh, no, that's worst.
and I think that's because I might have been something might have been put in my drink.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I hear that a lot these days. Like when somebody gets like super drunk, they're like, I must have been.
Because that night I had 2 drinks.
Right.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I just
I just blame myself. I must have screwed up somehow that I got that drunk. That's what I would assume. I've been like drunk past the point where I would have wanted to be a few times in my life, but I never like thought that somebody slipped me anything. I mean,
I think it
I'm
happened to me
easy,
once.
so why would they?
I believe you. I think it happened to me once too.
You think you got roofied?
I think I've seen it happen to
I don't
people.
know if it was a roofie, but it was like me. I was out with 2 other girls, and we all took a shot of this thing that was being like passed on a tray.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes bars have like those little shots on
Sure,
trays.
little
that they-
tubes,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And we all did it, and then about 10 or 15 minutes later, we're all just like, I'm really drunk. What was in that?
Yeah.
And like all 3 of us kind of had the same effect.
Maybe it's
going.
just absinthe or something.
I don't know. It was the second drink we had that night, and we were all just like obliterated for the rest of the evening. It was great.
Yeah.
You don't spend a lot of money on drinks
Yeah.
that night.
Well, we never spend money on drinks.
I drank a lot in college.
Oh, girl.
I had 2 crazy experiences in college like that, where one was my 21st birthday. They took me out. Do you guys know Baby Acapulco's?
Oh
dear.
yeah.
It's a margarita place that's disguised as a restaurant in Austin. And we went
Shitty.
there.
It's a shitty place.
It's a pretty shitty place. Like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, it's like most people order nachos there and they're margaritas. So it's like you don't really order nachos at too many Tex-Mex restaurants. But I went with my buddies for my 21st birthday, and they ordered me a blue margarita.
So
the
2
guy
years
goes,
ago?
"Give him 2 blue margaritas." She goes, "I can't serve him 2 blue margaritas." And my buddy next to me who doesn't drink goes, "Then I'll have a blue margarita." And he like pushes it over to me when he gets it, and she puts the second one in front of me. She knows she's breaking the rule. And I go, "What is the story with these blue margaritas? Why is it a big deal?" She goes, "Just be careful." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because they're creepers." And I said, "What does that mean that they're creepers?" She goes, "That just means they sneak up on you." And I woke up the next day. Like literally that's the memory in my head. It's like she said that to me and I said, and then I'm awake in my room.
She definitely drugged you.
Yeah, see, I would have assumed that she did that. But I don't people really back then people didn't really talk about that too much. Like that wasn't a thing. It seems like everyone can
Well,
get
now
hold of
thanks
this
to the
roofie
internet, anyone can get it.
Can you just do it? I don't want to educate
yeah.
people to have poor behavior.
Why are you asking me?
What was the drug before roofies that you always heard about that was like that?
Rohypnol?
I always think about
Second
that a-
flories.
chloroform with the rag.
Oh god.
Does that actually work?
Are
Can
you from
like,
the 1800s?
I know, right? You're like somebody who's going to extract a tooth in like the Old West. But does that actually work if you put chloroform on a rag and put it over somebody's mouth?
I think it has to be a lot of chloroform. It has to be a long time.
I think it also has to cover their nose as well.
I bet the chloroform is irrelevant and people are just suffocating.
Right. And they're breathing
It's like
in like
put a
whatever
cloth
that
over
is.
someone's face, they'll eventually pass out.
Yeah. And what is? I mean, is that all chloroform does, or does it have like another use? Like, does it really?
Is chloroform
clean, like boat hulls or something?
is chloroform like a type of thing, or is it like the chemical name for a specific thing?
Well, it's chlorine and formite.
Formite.
For a second, I was
acid?
like, "Damn, Burnie, you know a lot."
It's a form of chlorine. Hold on, I'll look up what chloroform's chemical composition is.
Formichlorm.
Oh, we're gonna do the science portion of the podcast early.
We got it.
Alrighty.
We're already in it.
Let's see. Chlorine, fluorine, and
Maureen?
bromine. I don't know. Chlorofluorborum.
I approve.
I have no idea.
It is CHCl3, so it's mostly chlorine, and it's a carbon, hydrogen, and then 3 chlorine atoms.
3 CLs.
Yeah. So it's basically just you can probably just soak a rag in chlorine and do it. Please, for God's sake, don't do that.
This
ever.
is a really bad example.
We should do an RT Live where we just chloroform ourselves. So,
No.
Or we get a bunch of different rags. Like this one's soaked in carbon. This one's soaked in hydrogen.
or we'll just take one and one of
one's
them's
chlorine.
chloroform.
So because my dad was a priest, he had me so much later in life than you normally have kids. My dad had me when he was 45. And that made our generation gap enormous. Like I was like, my cousins were like 20 years older than me in my family. And I was like the baby of every generation. And he had like some of the crazy stories. He basically grew up during like World War II. And they didn't have anesthesia back then. They would just give you fucking ether. Which he said they would just pour into a mask, put on your face, and it sounded like a swarm of bees in your head, and then you passed out.
Oh my god.
And it was horrible. It was like somebody. It was like that was one step down from somebody just holding you by the collar and decking you over and over again until
Might
you
have
passed
preferred
out.
that.
You just get punched by tiny bees instead.
And I asked him, I said, "Why did you get ether?" He goes, "Oh, because my brother got his wisdom teeth out." And I said, "So why did you get ether? Because your brother got his wisdom teeth out." He said, "Because my oldest brother got his wisdom teeth out, and the doctor said, since I'm here, do you want me to take out all the kids' wisdom teeth?" So all the kids in my dad's family had to get their wisdom teeth pulled out because their oldest brother had to get his pulled out, and it was cheaper to do it that way.
It's like
What a
going to Costco.
fucking
Like you get a
bitch.
bulk discount.
Yeah, that's the way they did it. Because I guess the dentist was doing a house call. How mad would you
Is
be
that
at your
the
brother?
worst part about having siblings? Is having to do what they're doing.
Oh, just following their
It's
footsteps.
it's not even hand me downs. It's like hand me down surgery almost.
Hand me a cross.
Yeah.
More like.
I would murder my brother if I had to get my dental work done and get teeth yanked out because
Do you
he
get
had
to
me.
keep your wisdom teeth?
Yes. Esther just got her teeth pulled out.
She did not ask for them. She thought about it the next day, and I think she regretted not having asked for them.
Why would you keep them?
Why not?
They're yours.
Make a necklace out of them.
Why would anybody else get to keep
You
them?
don't want someone else to take your power.
You know what I found out today?
Stop
that was
staring at me. It's creepy.
Gus has no wisdom teeth, I found out.
I was born without them.
Explains a lot.
I found out
I'm more evolved. I'm a higher level of human being than you savages.
I found out something disgusting today
What did you find out?
about C-sections.
Oh, Joe.
Because
Hold on.
okay.
Let me take a drink. All right, hold on.
Wait. Is it how they actually do?
Wait,
them?
let's not spoil anything.
No, I'm
I'm
trying
ready.
to figure
I'm
out
ready.
if I
Go
saw
for
the
it.
same thing as you did.
oh, just like in my head, I just thought, and there's a baby just like looking at you, and they're like, "There's the baby out," and then sew it back up. But there's like a bunch of stuff in the way of the
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
They got like pull all your intestines out and stuff.
You don't
Apparently
have
they
a
just,
direct
like,
shot.
They put it in a bowl.
yeah, they just like scoop out the intestines,
Yeah, Patrick brought me this just to be safe. If you want to set that over there.
bung them in a bowl, and then get the baby out, and then like put it all back.
Where did you hear about that? Because I just heard about that this weekend too.
On that like Guy Payne video
Yes,
with the electrocuting him.
when they're doing the abortion feels.
Abortion.
Not abortion.
Contraction.
Labor. Contraction.
That would be the worst. That would have been the worst Mother's Day video ever, probably. Was that a Mother's Day conversation that you had? Was that what it was?
No.
It was just
For
a video
C-section?
of these guys.
Yeah, that was for Mother's Day.
Oh, was it
Yeah, they were
I guess that
motherhood.
makes sense.
Come on, guys.
motherhood?
Can't
And when I
connect
said the
the
Mother's Day
two.
video thing, y'all looked at me like I was bizarre.
Connect
That
the
video-
dots. Why would they put it
Well,
out on that
I
day?
keep forgetting it's not Mother's Day for me, so I don't know.
It's not?
No, it was in March.
It's in March, huh?
He's jet lagged.
What's the equivalent of Thanksgiving in the UK?
Is it the day you got rid of all the religious fanatics and put them on a boat and sent them across the ocean?
That had to be a really cool day, right?
Yeah.
They got rid of all their prisoners and all their religious fanatics in one go, pretty much.
Dude,
At least within the same 50-year
You
period.
gotta have a purge every so often. That's what Hitler said.
Jesus. Man, we've touched every sensitive topic. The other time I got super drunk in college, which was a crazy experience, was we were making punch in a trash can.
You have the most weird ghetto upbringing ever.
And it was like we were just dumping in packs of Kool-Aid and it had liner in it and everything. But this was a designated trash can.
Was it a garbage bag liner?
It was. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was garbage bag liner.
We've done the same thing.
And we were dumping all the stuff, and then we had this booze called Volkov. This vodka called Volkov. It had like the German eagle, the the steel eagle on it, whatever the hell you call that crest.
Is it Stiegel?
And I actually had a video camera, and I was pointing at people, and I said, here, to my buddy Scott, I said, here, take a shot with me, and handed him one of the bottles. So we were just taking the caps off the bottles and dumping them in to the trash can. He goes, okay. He cracks his. And then I had my camera there, and I crack mine. I hold it up. We go, cheers. And I take a swig. He takes a swig. And then he stops. And he looks. He goes, this isn't vodka. He goes, this is grain alcohol. And it's just as my bottle goes up, and I take 2 huge swigs of grain alcohol, which is 195 proof.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah, it was like...
What do you do with that? What's it for?
It sucked all the moisture out of my mouth. Yeah. It's weird to drink something, and all of a sudden, it's just dry in your mouth. And then I swallowed it. I was like, ack. And then I took 2 full swallows of it, and I'm standing there go, I'm wasted. I'm sitting here drunk right now, and it just hasn't hit me yet. But I'm completely drunk. Sure enough, within about 5 or 6 minutes, gone. I was completely gone.
I can just imagine your poor body, your blood's just going around your body just like normal, and then all of a sudden all this booze comes straight, and it's like,
it's like a tidal wave, just
what has he done this?
Maybe that's what I need to get drunk.
It's like a meteor hit.
I saw Nico do something very similar once at an event we were at.
He's French, by the way.
Where we had a bottle of liquor. He thought it was a bottle of vodka. Made himself a drink and poured a ton of Everclear into it.
Everclear,
I thought, surely Nico knows what that is. I don't need to baby him. And then he, made his drink very strong, took a huge swig of it, and was like, "Whoa, what is that?" I was like, "That's Everclear." He goes, "What's Everclear?" I was like, "Oh, you are in trouble, man. You are in big trouble."
So how are you supposed to actually drink Everclear? What do you do?
You really dilute it.
Okay.
You don't.
What's Everclear? Don't worry, we'll explain it to the coroner when they show up to pick you up.
Yeah, just make it really weak.
If anybody could handle that, though, it's Nico.
Yeah, he held it together for a bit.
Before collapsing.
Then he continued to finish that drink.
My favorite thing ever was the off-brand version of, besides Volkov, the off-brand version of Everclear called Diesel, and it was just a picture on the label was a Mack truck coming right at you. That's all it was. That was very appropriate, I thought, for the label of Diesel.
Do you guys ever drink absinthe?
I've drank absinthe before, but it has that licorice flavor. I hate licorice, so I don't like absinthe.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
It's basically like drinking NyQuil. Or Jägermeister.
Nothing wrong with that.
Gross.
Yeah. I'll tell you who loves absinthe. Young lady by the name of Ashley Jenkins.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She took me to an absinthe salon one time where you had to melt. Yeah, it's called a salon. We had to make a reservation and everything. They gave us this fucking apparatus.
Get your highlights done after.
We had to drain it. We got our toes done. We got a mani-pedi. We had to drain the absinthe over this sugar cube and everything. And it was like this whole procedure.
You light it on fire.
I don't know if we lit it on fire, but it had to get cloudy.
I like tiny procedure.
That seems so anti-you.
I don't know, but it's funny.
I feel like you can't be bothered with that.
It's fun because it's small. You just
there's something.
Wait.
Right
is that what Meg says about you?
Meg?
It's fun because it's
Meg
small.
perked up. She's like, thumbs up. No. She wasn't listening.
I'm sorry, I had to get that in there.
Oh, are you? So there's a video that's out right now that's right up your alley then, because these guys, they're doctors and they're scientists. I'm not sure what they are. Some guys. They built robots that could do surgery, and they sewed a grape back together.
Grape?
A grape.
Like they took the skin off the grape and then
they peeled a grape and then put it back on.
I actually didn't watch the video, but I saw it linked everywhere.
It was
if there's a robot that can put toothpaste back in the tube, then I'll be impressed.
I'm sure that's a robot that puts the toothpaste in to begin with.
Yeah, but they sew it up at the end, don't they? It's just
I hope it's a robot that does that. What if it's not? What if it's a dude?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, look at this!
Well, this is them taking off the skin first.
The tiny scissors.
Gavin is so amused.
Gavin is so happy.
They
we
wow.
were watching a video of these 2 robot arms slicing a section of grape skin off. Gus, how long would it be before you would have surgery from a robot, totally autonomous?
I would hope that we were driving in driverless cars and robotic cars for a long time before we get to that point.
It's actually just, it looks gross. It's like I'm looking at something that's not a grape.
It's like you're looking at a surgery, right?
Just think of it as a grape.
It's so cool.
Do you ever do that when you eat grapes? Do you ever bite it in a certain way to just try to eat the skin? No. You've never done that? I've done that before.
It almost looks like a joke too. They got the light set up and the blue, what do they call that? the blue not tarp. What is it? Kind of like
Surgical
the
tarp.
dressing. They have that down.
The surgery napkin.
Yes, surgery napkin
I would definitely
with window.
let that robot operate on me.
Yeah,
Drape.
I feel more comfortable with a robot doing it than a human.
Right now, still.
Maybe in like 5 years.
Yeah. Look how quickly the story changes.
But also, how much damage could it really do with those?
It could
tiny
kill you.
scissors? What, with tiny
A
little
human
scissors?
could also kill you.
Yes, but humans have been doing it a lot longer. I trust humans a lot
I'd have
more.
to go straight for your jugular.
But it would work.
Did you ever hear about the NHL goalie who got his jugular sliced by a skate?
There's actually
Yeah,
quite
I
a few
think I've
hockey
heard of
players that had injuries like that. From
How does that
skates.
happen? Do you like fall and like hook him?
Well, yeah, I guess he tripped over. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think he tripped over another player and his foot just kind of flew up, and then your mask only goes till here, so it just kind of cut him right there.
I don't know. I don't play hockey, so my mask goes nowhere.
His mask.
I would go nowhere
So
near
what
that
happens? Does
scene.
the blood just like freeze instantly and like become hard, like blood ice cubes?
It's not that cold. On
It just
there.
like shot like you can see the footage. It's an NHL game. Like,
Yeah.
blood just shoots. But he was saved because the trainer for the team was a former army medic.
Yeah.
And like, get ready,
Really
Gav.
shove a bunch of gunpowder in it. or
You know, he
something.
reached into his neck hole and pinched the jugular vein closed and held it while they waited for the EMS to show up. That's the
imagine
only
how
reason the guy
scarred-
lived.
What a hero to do that.
That is amazing.
Could you imagine how scarred you would be if you were at that hockey game? There's a lot of kids at hockey games. I
Oh.
was seeing that as a kid.
Or can you imagine being the goalie and be like, I know what it's like to have someone reach into my neck and pinch my fucking jugular shut.
It's badass.
I think I've seen in Black Hawk Down. That's what he's doing. He's trying to. Did you ever watch Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
He's trying to pinch that leg. You have a huge artery that runs through your leg. Oh, it's just. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. But you talk about traumatized kids. Ashley and I, she came over to see me because I had a presentation that I had to do, this big like global conference for television where we basically introduced to other markets shows that we have that are.
That sounds fancy.
It was very fancy, and it was in Cannes, France, Cannes, France, which is in the French Riviera. It's like just west of Monaco. It's where they hold the Cannes Film
Did you
Festival.
buy like a pamphlet there or something?
What's that? No, we actually went. We drove. So I rented a car and we like drove. I figured if I'm flying all the way over there for like 3 days of presentations, I'll just stick around for another 5 days.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we drove over to Italy. We drove over to what Americans call Genoa, Italy, but everybody else calls Genova. It's on the like northwest coast of Italy, and
Love
So-
their salami.
yeah, exactly, Genoa salami. You're the only person who's made that connection besides me. That
It's all
Genoa,
about food.
that Genoa salami's there. But when we showed up, I booked the hotel before we showed up at this place. And we get to the front desk, nice hotel, and they go, okay, your room's all ready, and, here's your tickets to the aquarium. And I was like, what are these for? They said, you booked the package with the aquarium. I said, I absolutely did not. Why would I do that? And they said, well, you have 2 tickets to the aquarium. And I was like, that's okay, I don't want them. They were like, take the tickets. I was like, okay, I will take the tickets to the aquarium. So Ashley and I, the next day, sure enough, we go to the fucking aquarium, and we had a blast. It was absolutely a lot of fun. But Gus, I wish you'd have been there because we went to the dolphin tank, and they had all the plaques of all the dolphins that are in the tank. And there were 7 lady dolphins, and there's 1 dude dolphin. I was like, hey, he's getting all the ladies. Then we look up in the tank. Nope, I guess he's tired of ladies. Here's the 1 male dolphin in the entire tank. He's swimming around on his back trying to fuck a buoy. He's...
Like with his little flippers he's got him, or is it just like on his stomach?
No, he's like trying to he's doing this number where he's got 1 flipper going, oh, and he's trying to wrangle it. And it was like, the best way to describe it, it's those things like they throw over the side of a boat so you don't bang into other boats.
Okay.
It's like, it kind of look like a big version of a thing you throw for a dog to train to catch like birds and stuff. It was like this tube, but then it had a place where a rope was supposed to be tied to go on the side of the boat. And that's what he was trying to get to, was the hole where the rope goes. He was trying to get his rope in there. And one thing I learned immediately, dolphin penis is very agile. Like it was searching for the hole.
Oh,
like that.
God.
So it really
Ashley
was like a rope.
Ashley was a little too fascinated by this. Do you think ropes move on their own? I mean, this thing was like pecking around and looking, and it's like the entire line along the glass, all school kids just watching this whole thing.
They didn't know what was happening.
Was it just filling up with cum?
What's that? No, we didn't stick around for the grand finale.
Oh, God.
That would have been just horrible.
Man, I
It
mean,
probably
you
has
don't
a
even know
hole
if
all
it
the way
finished.
straight through for a rope to go through. So I don't imagine it
Just
would.
shoots out the
Yeah. Just hits him in the face.
Like a
Oh no,
blowhole.
Gus, that was the worst part. It was like a piece of plastic that was maybe like an inch thick with a hole through it. So you got to see the whole thing going through. Like you got to see the one side and the other.
It's like a cutaway diagram.
It was fucking
That sounds
horrible.
terrible.
It was
and
awful.
disgusting at the same time.
Have you?
We couldn't watch it for more like 15 minutes.
you film it?
And we had to leave. No, I never thought. Ashley, Did you film the dolphin banging that life preserver?
She was too busy laughing. Did you ever see that? And taking notes.
I had a quarter
Did you
for
ever
every
see
time I heard
that? It's an older video now, a couple years old. Horny Odie, the Wonder Dog. It's a YouTube video where this one dog's trying to hump another, and the one that's trying to do the humping, like the dog that's on the bottom gets away.
Yeah.
The dog that's on the top, like, doesn't have anything to do with its front paws, so like it stands kind of awkwardly, and it realizes it can reach its own dick, and starts kind of like jacking itself off while it's still on its back two legs.
Never seen that.
It's
Oh my god.
I don't know. This is it.
So are these two guy dogs?
I don't know. I don't know the relationship between these two dogs. How did y'all find it so fast?
Yeah,
They're-
that was
they're pros.
extremely fast.
And then he realizes he doesn't eat the other dog.
I just like that dog staring.
What is that?
I like that the other dog comes back like, what's going on, man? What is this?
I love that was my job just then. I got paid to watch that. I got paid to watch a dog jack off.
I like that video exists, and there's still people in the world that don't believe in evolution. Like, you're watching it right there. He's learning something, and he's not going back. He's like, what? This is way easier.
There are people on the ground in the studio.
We'll put that in the link dump if you're
That must feel really bad, though.
Well, what you do
with
that?
dog hands.
I guess with dog hands, yeah. If you have paws.
Those
and everything.
claws you can't
Yeah.
retract and those rough pads.
They just use like the inside of
It
them.
must have been red raw.
Red Rocket. Yeah. It's always watching YouTube videos of animals trying to figure stuff out is
I
it's
gotta
a fun
say, it
pastime.
looks totally like they're not designed for it, but it looks so satisfying when you see those goats with the big, long, curved horns when they can hook them back and they itch their own butt like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That just looks like the most satisfying thing ever. Like the one longhorn goat, whatever the fuck. It's
like an ibex, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whichever one figured it out first was like, I gotta fucking tell people. This is fucking amazing.
Keep it to themselves.
Yeah, those horns seem ridiculously long. Like it seems like they would be a hindrance to evolution. Like it would get caught in
What's
a
a
tree.
hindrance?
What's wrong with you?
He loves to go after people for mispronouncing
It
stuff.
would. You're the one who fucking mispronounces everything.
I spent a week with Gavin and Daniel.
when a
Grucci.
door
That was-
doesn't
that
close
was fun.
properly.
Those two like bicker and like make fun of each other constantly.
Yeah, banter.
What's what?
Banta.
Fanta?
I
We're not
love
talking about
Fanta.
Star Wars.
It's delicious.
Here, I'm gonna read this. Want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by. I'm actually re-listening to Snow Crash right now. I don't think I've read that book since I was in high school, maybe.
I've never read
And it's funny to go back and listen to it, and I think it came out in the early '90s, and to listen to the predictions that the author made about the way the internet would work. 'Cause at the time the book was written, the internet was still like the web didn't exist. The internet was still a very, loosely based series of computers.
No, it was
And-
still like futurist technology at that point.
Right, and then to see the line that the author drew out, and we didn't get there, of course. He envisioned like a full 3D rendering. You put goggles on and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
But but he had some of the ideas were right. Hypercards and exchanging information, and it's really really interesting. It's
I
out
thought
there.
Ender's Game got a lot of that stuff right too.
Ender's Game is pretty good.
What if it's Ender's Game on Audible?
It
but-
is. I listened to Ender's Game on Audible last year, right before the movie came out.
Do they
sometime.
redo the audiobooks when they have like a cast and movie for it or anything like that?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I think and sometimes you have multiple choices. Like with Snow Crash, I know there were two different narrators, and I had to pick between them.
Did you see that Grace Helbig is coming out with another book?
Another book. Well, her first book hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list like
Yeah.
a few times.
She has another coming out.
She should absolutely do that.
And then I Justine just came out with a book, Memory Heart.
Web books are a big deal. We've been approached to do
Yeah.
a book like a couple different times, but it's just like we don't have time to write a book,
Just go on the internet.
We did the RVD book, and that thing is like its own whole project.
Can we just copy and paste some Wikipedia and then say that's a book?
I would love to do it. I read Grace's first book and Hardo's book. Those are all great. I haven't read Mamrie's book. Is that out yet?
I think it is still available for pre-order.
Felicia Day has a book coming out. Gav was in that Beacon program where they put him up on billboards everywhere. He was in that thing with Zoella from the UK. She put out a book right after that campaign. She beat J.K. Rowling's 1-week sales record in the UK. That's
Wow.
insane, dude.
That's ridiculous.
This is where we are with media now.
It's a lot of books.
There's two things I want to talk about real quick. Go back to the can thing, like what you just said about like seeing where things were going. I had this really like very straightforward conversation with the interviewer there with somebody who was like covering us for I think Guardian, and we were talking about like they were like, well, you guys got started way before everyone else online. You guys were doing online video in 2003. how'd you get going with that? And I talked about, guys, you remember this really well, when the internet kind of came out of nowhere. Like it always kind of existed, and like people always thought this thing would, come around. But they always you always base your future technology in whatever technology you use today, because you can't envision the next step. That's why, like, in the 50s, everything looks like a new way to get the newspaper. Or in the 80s, everything is like, remember how big video phones were going to be?
Video phone was the one I was going to say, yep.
Video phone, everybody thought everything was going to be a video phone. Video phone was like the most futurist technology. But now when you have a video phone, I would never use that in 1,000 years. If I use it, I'm like, fuck.
Well, you technically do.
Well, it's for business now, isn't it?
I did something wrong.
Like
yeah, we have
Skype
video
and that.
conferencing now.
FaceTime and Skype.
Yeah, but it's like I have a
but you
portable
never
one.
use the video function.
I use FaceTime all the time.
All
for
the
my
time.
family.
I use FaceTime at least like once or twice a week.
Oh, there you go.
Never
All
mind.
right.
We're stupid.
Look,
Well, it was
just
all
got
based
shut
on
up.
that. So we were talking about, though, she was asking me about, like, how do we get started? How do we know that things were going to go this direction? I was like, well, the way it basically worked is the internet started, and the moment the internet started, everybody got an email address. The moment everyone got an email address, nobody wrote another postcard. Nobody mailed another letter. All that stuff moved online. And then once data sizes got a little bit bigger and bandwidth got a little bit bigger, the next thing that went online was all the print stuff, books, news articles, everything went online, and the print industry died. Then you fast forward a couple of years, file sizes get a little bit bigger again. It was all the audio and everything that happened with the music industry happened with Napster and all that stuff. So it's like when we got started, by that point, it was like very clear to me, file sizes get a little bit bigger. The next thing that's going to go online and going to change everything is TV and film. It's going to be all video images. And I was actually, I don't know about you guys, I'm actually surprised it took this long. Like we're now at 2015, and finally all this, like, Game of Thrones is online and everything else is online. It's like I'm sometimes amazed it took this long to take place.
I think a lot of times big media companies drag their feet on making that shift because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of investment to move, your broadcast to a new medium.
But the music industry tried to drag their feet, and it didn't work out very well for them.
Yeah, I think maybe they all saw the writing on the wall with how poorly that worked out for them.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's like Steve Jobs always said, it's always easy to connect the dots going backwards. But man, if you can like figure out like something like just the next chain, so it's like somebody can figure out like what's next, that's going to go online after video. Like what's the next big thing that'll do it? It's like start whatever that is. Start working on it today.
3D printing,
Printing fleshlights.
printing a car at home.
But I had a crazy thing. I thought of you as soon as I had this conversation, Gus. I was in my car, and I got a phone call, and it was from like Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm like, I don't know anybody in fucking Las Vegas. So I'll answer it. So I answer my phone. There's a pause, like a 2 or 3 second pause after I said hello. And then a woman comes on and she goes, hello. She goes, is this Burnie Burns? And I said, yes, it is. And I immediately knew I was talking to a telemarketer because I know that pause means
the call's being connected. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they do is it's a robot dials you, and then when somebody answers, then they connect you to an operator, and then they push you like.
They answer.
Is that so that they don't have to wait for you to pick up?
That's exactly right. They push it through like something that's called like a whisper. They come through like that, and that's how the operators get that stuff. But nobody's sitting there
The
dialing.
sweet spot is hanging up during that pause.
Yeah, you should just hang up when you hear that pause. But she says, "Hello, is this Burnie Burns?" I go, "Yes, it is." She goes, "Oh, hello. I'm calling today." This is exactly how she sounded. "I'm calling today to talk to you about your vehicle, which may be eligible for a new extended warranty." And I was like, "Oh God!" I said, "Is this a computer?" And she goes, "Oh, do I sound that bad today?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I'm so sorry." I said, "That must have been so insulting." I did the explanation I just did, where I was like, "I used to run call centers, so I'm used to voice response systems." And I go, "And your initial hello, and then when you said it, anyway, I apologize."
And that influx is also very robotic.
Yeah, it was. So exactly the way she was talking, it was like little pauses and stuff that didn't sound exactly right. And she laughed and she goes, "Okay, well, the reason I'm calling is about the extended warranty on a vehicle. You might be qualified for an extended warranty." I said, "I know what you're calling about. I get calls about this thing all the time. It's my truck." I said, "I'm in the process of selling my truck, so I don't want an extended warranty on it." She goes, "I'm sorry, you don't qualify." And I go, "Are you a computer?" And she goes, "What makes you say that?" I go, "You're not saying no." She goes, "I guess I'm not." And I was like, "Can you just answer the question? Are you a human or are you a computer?" And she goes, "I'm sorry, you don't qualify. Thank you." And hangs up. And I was
My God, you don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know if I talked to a computer or not.
That's a computer.
It had to be a computer.
Because you know that, what's it called? That
And her
website?
first response was, "Do I sound that bad today?" She didn't say no.
Right.
So it had that built in. And
So it's just a smart robot.
Well, you know that website, I forget what it was called, where you could actually talk to it and it was like a human responding, but it was actually just a robot?
Cleverbot.
Cleverbot.
Yeah, Cleverbot.
That's basically the human equivalent of it.
but it was a voice one.
Yeah.
I mean, it like totally. I have never had something where I didn't know I was talking to a machine.
They call that
and she made me double check myself.
That's referred to as a Turing
still
test,
don't know.
where if you're
Turing test.
yeah, if you're having a communication with someone, like let's say Cleverbot, and if you can't tell if it's a person or if it's a machine, like then it passes the Turing test, which is like a test to determine artificial
that-
intelligence.
I thought that as soon as I was done. You know what else I thought about? I thought this is like Blade Runner. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're walking through a desert and there's a turtle. Do you turn it over? Because that's the whole thing in Blade Runner. They're trying to figure
That's
out
the
who's
exact
machine.
scenario. How do you fucking remember
I
that?
fucking love Blade Runner. Who doesn't like
I
Blade
love
Runner?
Blade Runner too, but I wouldn't like when you
fucking
say it.
love
I
Blade
remember
Runner.
that.
Yeah.
But there's no way if you'd asked me what it was, I would have remembered that.
And the
That's it.
guy's a great actor too.
Wait,
It's so aggravating.
Why did she even call you if you didn't qualify?
Because no, when I said the explanation, I'm selling my truck,
Oh.
so I'm not even going to have that vehicle anymore. She goes, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. And I was like, and that sent me back. I go, wait a minute, I was like, are you a computer? Because what makes you say that? And I said, you're not saying no. It was like she was literally avoiding the question.
It's either a computer or a woman who just loves trolling
It
people.
could possibly be that, Barb. It's totally possible.
Which is like, if I was a telemarketer, I would totally do that.
I don't know, but we're at a
I would
point
just
now
talk
with
like a
technology where it
computer.
could have been. I felt like it was a computer.
I would have
afterwards.
stayed on the line hoping that she would eventually repeat herself.
No, she hung up
We
on
had
me.
hung up. Yeah.
She disconnected.
It.
No.
You got hung up on by a robot.
I know.
Or did
You
he?
should tell the other story
I
we
apologize.
have. You apologize
I
to a robot.
apologize to a robot for being rude.
Tell her.
Like, I'm sorry, you fucking metal hunk of junk.
Tell the story about how technology made us stupid in New York.
Oh, I feel like I'm telling like a lot of stories in a row here. I've been gone for a while.
You've been gone for a while. You got a lot of stories built up.
Fucking. So I went out to New York. The first part of my trip to New York, I was out there from like Tuesday to Friday morning, and I was there to support Gavin and Dan and be part of this. Like, you didn't talk about this before.
No.
YouTube did a really cool thing where they invited like their top 100 channels out to New York, and we had like a summit. So it was like everybody was there. Tyler Oakley, Grace Helbig, Hannah Hart.
I
you know,
could hear the
Chester,
teenage
everybody.
hearts. Just
We did a
like,
big old selfie.
A bunch of vloggers. Tom Scott. I finally got to meet Tom Scott. That was
Tom
awesome.
Scott's a
Markiplier
legend.
was there.
Love that guy.
And we were all like in one room and all had lunch together, like this huge like summit. Like Harley from Epic Mealtime. Like if you can picture it, probably they were there. Like Freddie Wong wasn't there because he was obligated to a Hulu thing. I didn't see Toby Turner there. Anyway, a bunch of people were there. Enough said. Gavin and Dan were one of those groups. And Gavin and Dan had a specific job that they had to do where they selected 4 of those 100 people to have fan meetups in this massive big fan meetup. And the Slow-Mo guys was one of them. Then it was Tyler Oakley as well, the Dude Perfect guys. And then I'm not familiar with her, I apologize, but Superwoman? Was that the fourth?
Superwoman or
Superwoman, yeah. I'm probably not in her target audience. She's probably not after,
I only know her name. I don't
40-year-old dudes. Maybe she is. I don't know. So I was just trying to make things easier on Gavin and Dan. So I was like, they had to sign these shirts. And they have silver Sharpies. We've all been to conventions. We know that one of the most precious resources in the world is fucking silver Sharpies.
Because signing black on a black shirt is a no-no.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
And we have a lot of black shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to find silver Sharpies in downtown Manhattan. And we walked 18 blocks? How far did we walk?
Fred?
Well, we
Bucks?
went to a CVS, didn't have him.
We went to a
We went
Dwayne
to
Reedy?
a different pharmacy, didn't have him.
Yep.
Had every other color Sharpie except silver. So then
Yep.
we had to go way far to a Staples.
We probably walked like 18, 20 blocks.
Yeah. Silver is a hard color to find for
Yeah.
some reason.
They're a
Yeah.
precious resource, man. And when we do, this is what we did. We finally got to a Staples plug, and we went. That wasn't a plug, by the way. It was just a plug. We went downstairs where because in Manhattan all the stores are laid out so weird because they're in these super old buildings. And I found a pack of silver Sharpies. Gab grabbed one as well, and then Dan decided to grab like ones with a copper, like a multi-pack as well, which becomes important because we go upstairs, we all throw them on the counter, and then I see, ooh, it have Apple Pay at the counter. So I'm gonna press Dan and Gav, and I'm like, check this out, beep, and
And I was like, oh, I've never seen Apple Pay used before.
and I go, here it is. That's my thumbprint. I hit the thumbprint. They're like, wow, that's
And then
cool.
I was like, that's dumb. And because he printed a receipt and gave it to you to sign, I was like, you still have to sign with Apple Pay? What's the point of the thumbprint?
and then they're like, I felt so good about myself because they were so impressed by it. Then I have to sign for it. And Gav and Dan are like, why do you have to sign? That
takes
ruins the
longer
whole thing. And I was like, no, it doesn't. They're like, yes, it does. I was like, fuck you guys. And then so we get everything. We go, we leave. Put my wallet back in my pocket. We walked 18 blocks back to the hotel, and I'm like feeling all, like fuck you guys in this thing. So we get in the fucking lobby, and I say to Dan and Gav, I said, just sign your shirts, and then we'll go to the event, and we'll do this.
And I was in a different block of the hotel, so I left both of you because you were in the same block and I was in a different one. So I was
Right.
like, I'm going to have a shower. See you later.
And I said, so just, sign the shirts. And Dan goes, okay, I need the pens. And I go, well, I don't have them. Gav has the pens. And he goes, oh, okay. So Dan goes up to where Gav is and goes in the hotel. And he goes to Gav, he goes, I need the pens. Gav goes, I don't have the fucking pens. We were arguing about Apple Pay. We just left our pens
Oh my God.
on the fucking counter 20 blocks away. And what I do, I had to walk all the way.
That's not on you.
Why
That's
did
on
you
them.
have to do it?
What? No, I mean, I was one of the idiots that left it too.
Yeah, you don't need them. Fuck those guys.
I refuse to believe that you didn't have the pens. Like, why wouldn't you have the pens? You paid for them.
Why wouldn't you have the pens? You needed them.
It's because we all had an individual pack of pens, so it wasn't like on one person.
The
We
problem was
walked all the way back, and none of us noticed that we neither of us had the pens. We just walked.
The
entirely
saving grace,
back.
the best part of the story. Please tell me you needed the signed receipt to show them to prove you had bought all that stuff.
That would have been great. What happened was I walked into Staples. The guy looks up and he goes, "Here you go, man." It's like he just doesn't want to grab the pens.
And it was
Left.
super
How did you?
hot.
I assume none of you had bags on you. Maybe you had like a shoulder bag.
Nah,
Or
we had
nothing.
nothing.
So nobody noticed that no one
That's
was
what I'm
carrying a
saying.
plastic bag
And
full
we
of
got-
Sharpies.
we
it
were that
wasn't-
big of idiots.
It wasn't like we were strolling up to the hotel and then realized like we're back and it's like I need these things. I went all the way up and had a shower. They went to their individual rooms and we still didn't notice that no one had the pens.
Also, Barb, I got to point out,
hours
it's
to pass.
why we went out. It wasn't like on our way
Yeah.
somewhere. We went out to do
Yeah,
this
we
thing.
could have gone to
did
Times
It was
Square.
out of your way. It was like a quest. You
Yeah.
had multiple stops on
We
the way
left the
doing
hotel
this.
to do this. That's what we left to do, and then came all the way back.
And then you text me saying you were just like walking back to Staples laughing, just laughing at the street.
We couldn't text each other because we were all laughing so hard, but like because we all realized we just left the pen sitting there on the desk.
Oh god.
What would be the equivalent of that? It'd be like going up Mount Everest, like getting like 30 feet from the top and going, that's close. That's here. I can see it.
I see
from
it.
Here.
Like doing 999 push-ups.
God, I read. Yeah, exactly. I know a trainer that
Or
actually does
following
that.
999 people.
Yeah.
You'd like the trainer that Michael and I see because he doesn't do even numbers of stuff. Like he'll do 49 push-ups or
Why?
99 something.
Well, just to make you want to do one
that
more.
No,
really
because
annoys me.
because if I do 50 or 100, I'm not an asshole. It's like it's like I'm gonna do that. It's like that's what everybody does. I'm gonna do 49. So he stops one short. He might not be the best
I
trainer.
say, yeah, this sounds like he's a great trainer. Then
It's like one more. Never mind. You're good.
Yeah.
You're fine.
you get most of the workout. You round up. Yeah, you're there. You're,
But
you're
if you
fit.
did that extra one, you'd be so much bulkier.
Yeah, exactly right. You'd have it all on lock. Did
I
you
had
have fun
fun, yeah.
at the YouTube thing?
It's nice to meet people that you see online.
It was weird.
I had fun with the fan event too, like just getting everyone messy. I got covered in paint and silly string.
Well, I was
I
gonna
saw a lot
say,
of
so you
pictures.
had like this little area set up where they did like some kind of. It wasn't like Phantom level high speed photography, but it was like
Yeah, it was
240 frames a second
Yeah,
or
it's like
something.
200 frames. Yeah.
And people, you were like spraying silly string and shit at
Yeah.
each other.
Well, why? You should explain why that is, though.
Just to hang out with the fans.
No, why they do less than your normal slow mo.
Oh, because it would take damn forever to play it back. And we
Yeah,
got,
it would
a
take
set
like
amount of
20
time.
minutes per person to process all that footage. Yeah.
And so it was weird watching that slow motion footage of you doing something with with other people, and it wasn't on the slow mo guys channel. It was like
Yeah.
on that other YouTube slow motion channel
You
thing.
also had like a lot of cash too.
Yeah, that was
That
like
was
paper
really
money.
cool.
We're just making it rain. This one dude, I'll try and find the clip, but he went with 2 silly strings just straight into both of my eyes. And I was just like, my eyes are just getting loaded with silly string. And I never used silly string before, but it's like aerosol. It's like,
Yeah.
it's really like, it stings your eyes a lot. So I was like pulling this clumps of silly
You ever
string
see
off my
any of those
eyeballs.
awful videos where people don't realize that stuff's flammable?
Oh, God.
And like there'll be someone like going to blow out a birthday cake candles, and then people blow silly string at them, and it becomes like a flamethrower.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
I made them test it.
What do you mean?
I told you that.
Yeah.
I made them test the silly string before they would use it for the day. I was like, I've seen too many videos where people catch on fire from this stuff. Can you just like go put it next to a flame and make sure it doesn't?
I'm sure my
Light on fire.
face was completely flammable by the end of
I
the
mean,
day.
Yeah.
your face is always flammable
Why?
because it's skin. It burns.
Oh, fair point. You got fucking served.
And you have hair on it.
Flammable?
What's that great Mitch Hedberg line? If you're alive and flammable, you are never blocking a
Yeah,
fire
because
exit.
they have like a like you're blocking the fire exit or
It's
like
like, I can't block a fire.
you're a
exit.
fire hazard by standing here. And it's just like I'm not gonna just stand here if there's a fire.
I'm alive and flammable. I'm never blocking a fire exit. I'm just the first one out.
No, that's a really good point. There's fire freaks me out. Fire and electricity freak me out.
Ah, we were on the same page.
Yeah, fire.
Electricity is too fast.
Did you see the footage of the guy in Russia who lights himself on fire and jumps off an 8-story building?
What?
Dude, Patrick, video foo on that if you can.
Does he survive?
People in Russia, they've lost. And he just jumps off of an 8-story building into into snow that he piled up. I'm not kidding.
Did he live though?
Yeah, they have one view of him on top with his buddies. They let him on fire, and he goes like, ooh, and then he jumps. And they have one from his GoPro view. When he lands, he just makes all those noises that like somebody makes when they just like have no air left anywhere in their body. He's like going like the grapes lady when she's stomping grapes and she falls.
That's my favorite video.
Any chance you find the guy that fell off the building or jumped off the building?
No, they can find Horny Odie the Wonder Dog immediately.
Yeah.
I know, right? That one they had already. That was in the toolbar. They had a bookmark for that. I was talking earlier. I kind of started to tell the story. I saw a video on Reddit yesterday of a cat that was on the outside of a building. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a guy's on the roof of a skyscraper. He leans over the edge, and there's a cat just like on the outside of the building. And then the cat adjusts his grip and falls. Oh. And he watches it. I don't know who this cameraman is because he doesn't react in any way. The cat falls like 8 stories, lands, and then immediately another cat runs and tries to attack it, and it runs away.
Yeah.
But it literally, you watch a cat fall like probably
like 8 or 9 stories?
6 stories, yeah, something like that.
No, it's got 8 lives left after that.
Yeah,
So-
you
Well,
saw
there's
like
a
every-
certain height.
Oh, is this the dude?
it?
Yeah, okay, so this is one angle. There's actually one from above him too. So you can see how many windows there are when he falls.
Lunatic.
Wow, on fire.
What are you doing?
And he piled the snow up himself.
Don't know.
Oh my god.
Into a pile of snow. That's nothing.
I'd have made a much bigger pile.
Yeah, no shit.
He looks great.
And there's like 3 or 4
How
other
were all these
cameras.
people watching?
You would
I
totally
know.
stop.
You
and watch
said
that
you
too.
wouldn't watch that? I'd watch the hell
I
out
don't
of
want to
it.
watch someone die. Why wasn't the pile of snow bigger if there's that many people fucking standing around?
Digging him out like
In
he
the
was
related videos for this, Patrick, there's probably a different angle on it too, like the one from the top.
Wow.
And then there's one from his point of view because he has a GoPro on his
He was
head.
really buried in there.
Yeah, I think
That was cool.
gravity helped him with that.
Yeah. Do you think the fire melted a lot of that snow when he fell in and just like buried him deeper?
Probably not. It probably takes a little
It'd be funny
while.
if he landed it and the heat just went like.
Like a cartoon, like he
Yeah.
just leaves like the outline of a person.
Yeah. It's like that video. Have you seen the what are those things called? The really hard like ball can. Oh, is this it?
Oh, this is GoPro footage.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
God. He's lucky he didn't
Now
land
he's
on
laying
his
in the snow
neck.
going, irk.
That's a great angle.
Haven't seen the what? Little balls?
What are those like gobstopper balls things? Like the really hard like ball candy things.
Yeah, you got it. Jawbreakers.
Jawbreaker, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy like superheats a metal ball and just like puts it in and it like slowly.
Oh.
It's a really
He
satisfying
takes
video.
a ball of nickel,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
superheats it
And
and
like,
puts
gets
it
all
on
the way
different
through,
items.
and then it's like melted so much it's like going like it's like bubbling and spitting everywhere.
There's also
It's
a video
cool.
of someone who put melted something into a watermelon. What was it? I don't know if it was. If you
Melted
guys saw it.
something. I don't
It's
know.
like melted steel or some aluminum into a watermelon.
Into a watermelon? I
Yeah.
see him do it like on a stick
And
of
it
butter too.
came through and it had melted all the seeds, and when he pulled it out, it was like this really cool branch effect.
Well, it's
Have-
like what
have
they
you
do
ever
with
seen-
anthills.
Yeah, I was gonna
isn't
say,
it?
you ever seen the one where they do anthills?
It looks similar to
And
that.
then you can pull out the whole thing and it's like whoa.
Yeah.
It looks like an art installation. Like you would see that hanging
Yeah.
from a ceiling, at a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
But millions of ants died for it. I felt really bad for my dog the other day.
Did you pour aluminum on him?
I poured molten aluminum on Benjamin. My dog was out in the front yard, he's sniffing around, he's gonna go to the bathroom. And he's sniffing at one spot for a little bit and then like takes 2 steps away and he starts like pawing at his face. I'm like, hey, he's probably just got some dirt or something. But he still keeps doing it. I'm like, all right, something's wrong. So I walk up to him and I grab his face and, tilt it up to me, and he's just got all these little black ants in his muzzle.
Oh no.
And he's got like no nose, it's like really flat, so it's everywhere on his face. I'm
Like
just
biting ants?
like those black ones.
Black, so not fire ants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm just like there trying to pull out all of these little black ants that are crawling all over his fucking face.
Oh,
Did you just,
He
like,
did not
stick
go
his
back
head in
and
a-
sniff around there again.
No.
It's the kind of mistake you make only once.
That's horrible. Poor little dog.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt really bad. It's like, I know better than that, but you're a stupid dog. You don't know any better than that. Yeah. So you missed we talked about it briefly, but you missed the discussion about the video Esther made after her wisdom teeth were removed.
I saw it.
She's-
I watched that whole thing a couple
She's
times.
just now feeling better.
Is she really?
Yeah. So
Is she
I
able
think
to
she's
eat
finally,
yet?
She's finally eating normal foods.
That's good.
We actually all went out to dinner the other night, and I got to talk to her a little bit about that. And when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I did it as part of like a pharmaceutical study, which are huge in college towns. So they basically get like poor college students to come and like take experimental medication. Robert Rodriguez funded his whole first movie that way. He took like a heart medication. That seems like a horrible idea. But the way that they did mine was I wasn't knocked out. They just like took my wisdom teeth out with me awake, but like local anesthetic. And Meg said she had the same exact thing. Yeah. But I had one impacted tooth, and I'll never forget where they put like some kind of chisel thing in there like that, and then they took this thing, just looked like a metal brick, and he's just hitting it like this. And my vision's just going.
So you can't feel it, but you can like
Yeah.
feel it through your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, that
That would
sounds
really screw me
awful.
out.
It makes
Yeah.
my stomach want to turn.
Sounds as bad as the ice skate scene in Castaway.
Oh,
yeah.
that
Chip
was
his tooth.
horrible. It seems to me like if I had to remove a tooth, like the way he did it was in the movie Castaway, he smashes his tooth out, a sore tooth, with a ice skate
Yeah.
and a brick or a rock. But I feel like you could just wiggle a tooth out if you work on it long enough. Like you
Yeah,
could
but that hurts.
ice skate doesn't hurt.
I
Yeah,
think
but
it's
it's
more getting it
instant.
done
Sudden.
quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's the
Yeah.
equivalent of tying it to a string
Like
and slamming
ripping
a
off
door.
a Band-Aid versus slowly pulling it off.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Or
that's.
like having it eaten off by ants.
I imagine that brick he uses, like it's a surgical brick, like it comes like sealed up like all the other medical equipment.
I bet his name was engraved on
He's
it.
got to
and
like
everything.
tear the packaging off and be like, all right, and then you use it, then it's like, all right, time to throw it away. got another one. Right, he's just got like his whole cabinet of like surgical bricks.
I'd hate to be the guy that empties that bin.
How expensive it would be to have like a house built out of those surgical bricks?
Or
Because
it's
it's
like,
probably just like a normal piece of metal, but they charge like $10,000 for it because it's medical grade brick.
right,
Medical
it's
grade.
medical grade brick in the United States.
Yeah, anything if you put like a price tag on, like it's for either for the government or it's for medicine, it goes like up like 3,000% in value. Like an aspirin when you go to the hospital is like $80 an aspirin.
Why?
It's just it's the U.S. healthcare system. I guess you two wouldn't even recognize that. Yeah, but they itemize your bill, and even if the insurance pays for everything, you get to see exactly what everything costs. It's like, oh, here's a box of Kleenex. That was $25 because a nurse
It's like,
brought it
it's
to you.
like the equivalent of a minibar in a hotel.
Yeah, it is.
Did you watch Better Call Saul?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
Haven't seen that. I haven't seen what's the Kevin Spacey one? The
House of
House of Cards.
Thank you, House of Cards. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Daredevil yet, which people keep asking me
People
about.
are raving about
finally watched
Daredevil.
the first 2 episodes of that.
I want to
good?
see just because there's apparently an incredible
It's
fight scene in it.
Good. It's like I expected it to be so much better for some reason, just because of all the hype.
You've got
Like I
hyped.
still enjoyed it, but
Dude,
it was
my expectations for Daredevil are so low. Daredevil to me is like one of the lamest comic book characters ever.
What does he do? What's his thing?
He's an acrobat.
A blind acrobat.
He's a blind acrobat.
He's blind?
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he's blind,
It hypes
got
the
the powers.
senses.
like to me, the most interesting thing about Daredevil is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are basically a parody of Daredevil. They started off that way. Like
They're
the
not blind,
origin story for Daredevil,
The nuclear
it
waste.
kind of keeps going, and it makes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, so it gets him and then gets a bunch of
And then it
turtles.
gets the turtles as well. Like the thing that turns him into Daredevil, like he gets hit in the eyes with a radioactive thing that falls out of a truck. if I'm
Surely that'll
recalling
give him
correctly.
super eyes.
It'll
what?
blind him.
Yeah, right. That's right. Anybody else would give him the super eyes.
Yeah.
Him, no, it blinds him the way it's supposed to, but then it also gives him other stuff.
Yeah.
And
It's like
then
how
it go- and
lucky
it goes on
Spider-Man that Spider-Man got all the stuff he did get, and
Yeah.
he didn't get like
He didn't grow, like,
huge
6
fangs
other
out of his
eyes.
face. Yeah, he has eyes all over his head.
8 appendages.
Yeah,
Wait, how many eyes does the spider have?
8.
It does have 8?
Has 8.
One for each leg.
One for
Just
each
like
leg.
us.
I never thought about that. What if that's the way that worked?
Is it an eye
Well,
to leg ratio?
dogs don't have 4
4 eyes.
eyes.
A lot of things don't. A lot of things. We
A lot
don't
of
have
things.
4 eyes.
I was
either.
just giving an example. We would have 2 legs.
Yeah, we have 2 legs. Jesus.
We have 4 appendages, guys.
What are we doing? Appendages or legs?
Do you guys understand? There's no difference between our arms and a spider's legs, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
No, spider doesn't
So you-
grab shit.
So
A
you're saying
leg is what you walk on.
So you're saying a spider has 8 legs and no arms?
Yes.
I totally disagree.
It has fangs.
How many arms
Or
does a
8
spider
arms
have
and
then?
no legs.
We're gonna get these perspective conversations. It's the 4 legs up front. Those are arms.
What if the spider was in Australia?
What does that mean? Yeah, exactly right.
Are its legs upside down?
Do we have the ambulance perspective conversation on the podcast? Right? What?
Yeah, like where the ambulance is going.
Yeah. Where is the ambulance going when you see it? It's all that perspective stuff. You know.
Yeah, spider. I'm guarantee you someone on Twitter can answer this.
Their legs.
Tweet us #RT Podcast.
You think there's 7
and
legs
let us
and 1
know.
arm?
It's absolutely 8 legs.
Yeah.
A spider has 8 legs.
I know,
Eight-legged freaks.
I know it has 8 legs.
But they also
You
act
said it
as
has 4
arms.
arms.
Yeah, I don't think there's any difference between arms and legs.
You're a fool.
No, I'm not. I'm regular. Completely regular.
Although if you walk on your hands, are they legs? If you put shoes on your hands, are they
What if
legs?
your arms didn't know they were legs?
So if a bear stands up, there's a video of a bear walking on its hind legs. Are its legs then arms?
The
Does
front
a bear
leg?
have arms? Because
No, a bear has arms.
When it stands up, yeah.
a bear does have arms.
But
it
it
stands
walks on
up.
all 4 of them.
Look,
when it
does
stands up and it has arms. So you're saying it's
Changes.
it's relative.
Yes.
And then it grows another set of
Like,
arms.
does it do its main fiddling with the front two arms? Like, can it rip open a beehive with its legs, or would it use its arms?
Let's go back to our original conversation though. If a spider stood up on its rear four legs, would
Does
four
it
of its eyes disappear? That's the original conversation that we had.
I like where
No,
we
it
ended
just
up much
shuts
better than
for
where we
them.
started.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
It just closes for.
Close.
It's like, oh look out! Oh fuck! I can't see.
It jumps and it's blind.
It gets hit in 4 eyes with radioactive waste.
Would you rather have 4 arms or 4 legs? Like
I also haven't seen True Detective.
to add to your.
Detective's so good.
What if a radioactive man bit a spider?
What is that radioactive man? He would already just be a radioactive man. What?
No, I mean,
what,
what,
you
no,
saying?
what
What happens to the spider? Perspective, man.
Spider gets killed
Would he
because a
become
man bit it.
Would he become man?
Man.
Spider.
Man.
Man spider. He has the power to do taxes.
Play video
Get
games.
stuck in traffic.
Play video games all day. Complain about the economy.
He just gets opposable thumbs and that's it.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've seen new season of True Detective June 21st.
I gotta see the old one.
You gotta watch the old one.
There's something else I've
8
missed out on
episodes.
too.
It's not very long.
I've missed out on most of Silicon Valley.
You probably missed out on the Jinx, which I talked about forever.
I have, but I did watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Ashley and I watched one episode of that, and
Finally.
wham, all the way through it. And that is a funny fucking show.
Yeah. It gets so much better after like the first 3 episodes.
I think I've seen the first 2.
Yeah, I watched the first 2.
I totally stuck with it because people told me that too.
Yeah.
They got better after 3 episodes.
No, it's good. I like. It's weird to me. I was scrolling through my Netflix queue the other day, and it's weird. For a long time, it was all big budget movies, and it was all like movies that maybe were a little more obscure that you hadn't heard of, and now then it was 1 original, then it was 2, and now it's like half of Netflix's originals. There is
Yeah.
so much original content. I watched one the other day. I don't think I'd even heard of it. Chef's Table. It's about chefs and cooking. I was like,
They just
I think
added
it was
a
made
whole
by the
bunch of
director
cooking
who
shows.
directed Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh, dude, I watched the hell out of that.
Yeah, it was super pretentious.
That was it.
It was super. I watched the first episode. I was like, I want to punch this guy in the fucking face. It was so. This guy was so full of himself.
Yeah, but everything's moving that way. Like BitTorrent announced that they're making original series now.
Jeff told me today Snapchat are doing original series.
Oh yeah, Full Screen did a Snapchat original series.
They did?
With Freddie Wong.
Do you have to hold it down to watch it?
Yeah.
You got to really be committed.
I'll be honest. I couldn't really. I was like, I can't. This isn't my thing. Oh, I did something really cool with Freddie though when we were in New York City.
No, but so.
I got really quiet there. That got really feels like I should tell us something dirty. Not at all. Really dorky.
Oh.
Freddie invited me out to an escape room, which Gus, you would fucking love.
Hold on.
Go
An
ahead.
escape room.
Got it. It's in New York City.
It's a room you can go to that is soundproof and it's isolated. It's like in the middle of a building. If you just want to get away from the noise and the crowd of the city, just a small room with a chair and a drink.
Not even close. You need a therapist, dude. You really need a therapist.
That's what I want in my escape room.
You have massive social issues.
Is it a room that protects you from some type of disaster?
Nope.
Gavin, you want to guess?
I know what it is.
Oh,
Yeah, he knows what it was. I kind of left an event where Gavin was to go do this for like an hour and a half, and then came back.
You missed out on David Blaine
And Snoop Dogg.
and Snoop Dogg.
Somehow I'm
And
okay.
Wes Anderson.
Oh, I really do regret not seeing Wes Anderson.
You were
'cause
too
I'm a
busy
big
trying to
fan.
escape from a room.
Yeah, so they put you in a room and they lock the door, and you have an hour to get out of the room. And the room is filled with puzzles that lead you to the key to get you out.
that's way worse than my idea.
That's
What's that?
so cool.
It was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun.
How many people are in there with you?
Well, it was me and Freddie, another guy from Rocket Jump, and then 2 randoms that they paired with us
Okay.
who were just fucking worthless. Freddie and I were just like, these guys, all they did, I said, here's their strategy. You could ask for a clue like once every 15 minutes. So their strategy was every minute to go, we should ask for a clue. I mean, that's basically all they contributed the entire time. Was saying, let's get another clue. Let's get a clue.
Did you end up just telling him to stand in the corner and not do
Yeah.
you just kind of like tune them out after a little while. But like the first thing we had to do was like turn over the carpet. There was a combo lock on the filing cabinet. We turned over the carpet. It had the numbers on it. We tried it. That didn't work. But then if you folded the carpet together, it was actually 2 sets of numbers.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, there we
That's
go.
really cool. You got me.
Gus, we got to one point where we had to we were reading a story. There was clues, and we found the right square on a chessboard. And we were like trying to figure out how to make the chessboard work because we were following the story of the White Queen. And we kept discovering these laser pointers as we went. What the fuck are these laser pointers for? And then we opened up a side room that we didn't know existed by pulling a lamp. And then that opened a part of the fireplace. And then we went in the side room because it gave us a doorknob. And then in there was another checkerboard in this thing and all this writing on the walls. And then we figured out right at the end that we had to take the staff that had holes in it, put all the laser pointers in it, and then they would point if we put it in the right place.
This is
The
bloody
chessboard.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh
No
my
shit.
God.
It was, yeah.
I'm totally into it.
Now
Yeah, I
you
want to do this.
Now you do it. And Freddie's been bugging me to do it forever.
Are there different escape rooms? Like, it's not just one escape room, right? Like, if you solve it, you can come back and do another one?
That is correct.
Okay.
Like
So-
we did the Sherlock Holmes one.
they have these
so if
in
you do the
other
Sherlock
cities?
Holmes one in Manhattan, I just kind of ruined it a little bit for you.
Can you bugger up the next bit? Like if you ruin something later on in the clue,
It's
can
called-
you ruin it? Like what if you messed up the chessboard or something? early?
That's exactly the example they gave us. They said, we'll give you one hint before you start. You should not move anything on the chessboard until you have figured out what its purpose is. That's the only clue we'll give you. Apparently that must happen a lot to people.
I'm being told by Patrick in my ear that there's one in Austin.
There is one in Austin.
That was my next
So-
question because I want
I would
try
totally do that.
We should do little challenges. See who
Let's
does
do
it.
a podcast one.
RT Life?
Here's the problem. For obvious reasons, they don't let you film it. Like we couldn't we could have our phones in there to like look up reference stuff, but we couldn't watch any videos because we couldn't watch the room and we couldn't record any videos.
Could
I
you
feel like they should take
audio
your phones
record?
away. I feel like you shouldn't have your phone.
I agree.
It kind of threw you off track though. Like we had tarot cards, and there were some that were missing, and they have numbers like all the tarot face cards. And so I was looking up trying to figure out which ones were missing, but that's not what the purpose ended up being. It's like really everything we needed was in that room, as far as I can remember.
I really want to do this.
It was a blast.
They should maybe just give you like a terminal in there, like an old computer in that room that could only access Wikipedia and nothing else.
Beep, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, and I periscoped the whole way there, like with Freddie, like walking down Manhattan. It was talking about like
Oh, I saw that Periscope.
yeah, it's talking about all this. That's where we were going.
Okay.
So if you saw that periscope, that's where we were walking.
I did tell the story last week about how you were periscoping and then a girl was watching it and then was in it.
That was crazy. One thing that they need to change on Periscope is that the location data is really, really specific.
You can turn off location data.
You can turn it off, but it's like they just need to say like what city or something like that.
Yeah.
But like,
Kind of like how Twitter has the option.
yeah, this like Twitter gives you your coordinates, like you know how close you are. But yeah, this girl, I was following Dan and Gab. They were covered in paint and confetti.
We couldn't get a cab back because we were covered in paint. So we had to
No
walk.
cabbie was going to let them in his car. And she saw us periscoping, recognized the cross streets, found us, and then ended up on the periscope that she was watching.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
I've been having fun with that app. I haven't had fun with like
We
social media in a
periscoped a
while.
load of like really mundane things, but it was kind of cool to be doing it. Like
Yeah.
we went to like a tea room or something. And
Me,
then,
you, and Ashley did that.
yeah.
I watched you guys have dinner one night. That was fun.
Me in LA when we were there?
No, in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me and Ashley or
No, you guys.
What
you,
did I
Dan,
have?
and Gavin. I don't remember. I think you came like at dessert or something.
Oh, that was when they served me like a spoonful of spaghetti.
I think you were wearing like a suit jacket and they weren't or something, and you were ragging on them. Or Dan was dressed up really nicely.
No, Dan, that was the night Dan was dressed up better than
Okay.
everybody. He
Yeah.
looked dapper.
Dapper Dan.
I want to revisit an old conversation very quickly. Someone on Twitter,
He had a
Eric
girly one
G.
to impress.
Perez, says, "If Horny Odie the Wonder Dog has taught me anything, it's that if you can jerk off with arms, otherwise they're legs."
Exactly. It all comes full circle.
So there you go. We even gave our own example earlier in the podcast.
So
I
how does
reckon
a
you
spider
could-
jerk off?
You could do it with your legs.
No way. There's no way you can get your
I mean, you could
legs
just, like,
up in there.
Sort of.
No.
Girls can?
You have to have some kind of crate. What?
Yeah. On your foot or something.
You can fudge yourself with your foot.
Yeah. You just
What?
have to like sit on it right and then move.
You've done that.
I'm
do it
not
by-
saying I have. I'm saying you can.
You're not saying you haven't.
Did you do that by accident? You just sat down one day and you were just like,
It's like the robot thing all over again.
I'm sorry. You are not
sorry.
approved.
you do not
Goodbye.
qualify for this answer.
You do not qualify. But yeah, no. I mean, you could do that on anything.
On anything.
Just get
what
him
do
the
you
right angle.
This is a very enlightening podcast.
Yeah.
mean? Fair
I'm
play.
not saying all women can do this, but some who enjoy that type of stimulation.
Seems like you wouldn't want a foot in there though.
Well, maybe if it's not the slippers.
As long as you have a sock, it's okay, right? You can touch rat shit with your sock. The sock is the barrier. It prevents infection.
I learned something
That'd
about
be the weirdest girl talk ever the next day.
what?
It's like, I was with this new guy last night. He had a foot. I'm like, wow, a foot. Like, no, literally a foot.
He just laid it on the bed and I sat on top of it. It was great.
That's so disgusting.
So, Barb, when you're talking with girlfriends, at what point does the guy's penis size like enter the conversation? First two sentences, like
No, Not very much.
Sentence 3.
Sentence 3.
At least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You want to get the conversation going before you blurt it out.
They're just so interesting, though, aren't they?
Penises?
They
Yeah.
are. I mean,
Like,
like,
you
we're all
can't-
fascinated by the dolphin
You
penis.
can't say anything about a vagina. Like, no one's ever going to be like, what's a vagina like? Be like,
It seems rude.
it's a vagina.
It seems rude.
It feels great.
Put stuff in it.
Yeah.
Take stuff out of it.
You'd never be like, oh, it's a solid 4 inches deep.
Yeah, exactly.
What if that was a thing? Like, if women got like dudes are obsessed with size and rulers. Like, what if like that was like women like, oh, I got the dipstick, 5.5.
I can honestly tell you that like conversations with guys never had that conversation of like, it's like, so I ended up going home with this girl last night. It's like, how was her vag? It was great. She had a great vag.
So when do you refer to boobs? Or just the sex in general?
This is sex in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the moves.
So you never comment on her body?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say yes, but it's not the vagina.
No, I know it's not the vagina.
More so if she's like on the like tips the scale on the high end. Like you say, I went home with this girl last night. She was fucking crazy hot.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that.
So if she was kind of medium, you'd be like,
Yeah. Or you wouldn't be
Sex is
like,
great.
I went home with this girl last night. You know, I mean, I think I've
I
never
went home
heard
with this girl
guys
last
do
night. She was totally average. She was a solid 5.
I will say that Dan always does point out when the girl does anal. Always breaks.
Oh,
Jesus.
we always know it, and I don't always want to know that.
How does Dan?
Well, know it sometimes, but I don't want to know it all
I
the
don't
time.
ever want to know that about people.
Especially when you're at like a free hotel breakfast with those people.
this may sound really derogatory, and maybe we should cut it.
Let's not, maybe.
But if Dan's with a girl, she does anal.
We'd like to welcome Dan's girlfriend's parents to the podcast. Thank you for
Is
joining
this the
us.
point where you drop the mic? You just walk off.
But you've
How do
experienced.
you know? I guess you said
Is
you
that
talked
because
about
that's all he's into?
I don't know. I feel like whenever he must just manage to get a girl to do it, no matter who she is.
It's like he wants to be real careful. He doesn't have a kid.
Yeah. Maybe that's
By the
his
way,
excuse.
we're in a very nice Asian restaurant in Manhattan. I brought these guys out to do that. Next to all these like nice people having dinner. This is their full conversation. It was like 20
About
minutes of
Dan
anal
having
material,
anal.
just like nonstop.
Well, I mean, the waitress had a bogey.
what?
A bogey?
what?
Nose was running.
Oh, that was the bartender.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got sick afterwards. Now
What
I know
is-
why.
What does that have to do with Dan talking about anal?
Well, I was like, it's not a very fancy place if the bartender's got a runny nose.
So, yeah, we were getting a drink, and I go to Gavin. I go, bartender's got a runny nose. He goes, what? No. Then she serves him a drink, and Gavin's like this. Because he was like, she does have a runny nose. He completely lost it after that.
Yeah, and you were knocked out. You were not feeling well for a while.
You had it too, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people at the office. Jeff had something. I had something.
Jack had something.
Aaron had something. We all got
get it.
the
I
same
might have caught it
illness.
from Teddy. Teddy got sick. So
I
you
might
don't,
have brought something back from Australia.
you don't typically, did you?
No,
Yeah.
foot?
You did have a koala.
I did.
Oh,
So you all have syphilis.
chlamydia.
Chlamydia.
That's what they pass.
Right.
Get the disease right.
Yeah. So
Tomato,
you don't want
tomato.
syphilis. Chlamydia, I think they can still cure. I don't think they can cure
Oh.
syphilis
I
anymore.
think they could cure both.
No, I think
I think
one
syphilis is
of,
going away.
yeah, one of them has reached the end of antibiotic effectiveness.
Meg showed me something interesting today. An interesting article.
What?
I'm really
Good
curious to hear
segue.
this, Meg.
This is the weirdest segue ever.
All right, what tastes better? A sandwich that you made
Jesus.
or a sandwich that someone else made?
Someone
Oh,
else.
someone else.
Someone
Yeah.
else. all the
It's a
No,
time.
great thing ever.
a sandwich that you made.
Really? You think your
My
sandwich?
sandwiches are the best.
Oh, all right.
I'm
Well,
sure
of
it's
course,
someone
because
else.
other sandwiches made by other people involve other people. Right. There we go. That's exactly it.
It involves other people touching my food.
What
I
if
can't
Esther
even
made it
imagine
for
how
you?
hard that is for
Apparently, there's science behind why a sandwich made by someone else tastes better.
That science is bullshit. I can
And it's
tell you that
because,
right
like,
now.
as you're making the sandwich, like, you're becoming desensitized to all the ingredients, and you're like making the sandwich. And by the time you actually get to the point where you're eating the sandwich, you're kind of bored about the sandwich, and you're not that into it. But if someone just gives you a sandwich out of nowhere, you're like, sandwich.
What if
I'm
you
all
make?
about
What if you're
this."
making a decoy sandwich at the same time?
I love the idea that even if they go to you, what if they go to you? What if they go to you and they say, "Can I make you a sandwich? Do you want a sandwich?" You go, "Sure," and then you're like, "Oh, you get it, and it's great." But even like that 30 seconds or minute that it takes them to make the sandwich, you desensitize a little
But
bit.
you're not
Would the
desensitizing-
best thing be if they just walked up behind you with a fucking sandwich and just like they wait till you're yawning and just wow, sandwich? And that would be the best sandwich you ever had in your life.
What if you're
Yeah.
watching them make it and you get desensitized to like seeing everything?
We should start a restaurant.
What if
we
that's
called When
the-
Suddenly Sandwich, and you just walk in, it's just like wham. Well, I guess you'd be going there for a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Or what if it's
More
like
like
the
saying
new way
when.
they do like a Subway, like where you can't see the ingredients anymore. They just ask you,
Yeah.
and they're like working behind like a counter that's totally sealed.
They ask you philosophically, how do you feel about?
They ask you like it's like Blade Runner. They ask you some questions,
Do a
and
tarot
they
reading.
determine the kind of sandwich that you want, and then it just shows up at the end.
Say
But I
yes
get
to
it
the
though. Like
sandwich.
I feel like I make a good sandwich, but I'm not into it when I'm eating it.
Yeah, but
Like
somebody
I'll
else-
eat it, but it's just like
Why don't we do a test? We'll both make each other the exact same sandwich with the same ingredients.
well, I think that would. You're right.
That would
I think that would
that would
ruin it, though,
nullify
because
the-
I know
yeah.
that the ingredients I was getting.
But
were-
I'm making it for you.
right, but he's desensitized to those ingredients.
You guys make me hungry as hell.
We are talking
man,
about
speaking-
sandwiches around
speaking
bread.
of
What is
hungry.
the best sandwich? Real quick, what is the best sandwich?
Best sandwich is basic ham and cheese.
Really, just ham and white bread?
Yeah, white bread.
Okay. What about you?
butter.
Excuse me?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Maybe a meatball sub is a good sandwich.
Meatball
No,
sub's
awful,
pretty good.
terrible,
What are you talking
terrible,
What?
messy,
So it tastes good.
awful. No,
Really?
No, you're
meatballs
right.
should not be in a sandwich.
I just heard from the control room. So good.
What about what about all of the sauce from a meatball sub and the meat, but in thinly sliced meatball slices?
Yes,
Why don't they make that? That's
I'll accept
genius.
that. That's
I
much
would eat
better.
that right now.
Well, yeah.
A meatball slice sandwich?
That tastes delicious.
What?
Or sounds delicious.
Oh my God! When I was watching Dan and Gav do their thing, they had these people. I can talk about that. What's your best favorite sandwich? I'll talk about the serving trays.
Philly cheesesteak.
Philly
oh,
cheesesteak.
that's a good one.
Bit
That's a
cloggy
good
though.
one.
Bit sort of like.
That's the key
You?
to a sandwich.
I think mine's like an Italian sub, like
Ooh, Italian's good
capicola, like with a little
Like-
bit of like
like
oil
with-
and
Cold one?
vinegar on it. It's just like
Not too much.
wham.
Lots of
Nah.
times
Let's
they
go to
put too
Witchwich
much.
after this.
So good.
I'm not into the.
Thundercloud's better. Thundercloud's a
I,
local place.
yeah.
You ever been?
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Thundercloud.
I ate like a fat person this weekend.
Isn't it fun? I'm just being
I
fat, like really fat. That's the best.
on Saturday, I had
It's so much fun, Barb. It's
I
so
had-
much
Look how
fun.
you lifted your
I was
unicorn
like,
slippers
lean back.
as you were
I'm like,
doing that.
oh, remember that?
I had
Great.
dinner. Ate a fine dinner. It was really, really good. Then after dinner, I was like, I'm gonna watch a couple of Louis. I have a few episodes of Louis on my DVR. Started watching it. First episode, I see him eating that cheese pizza at the beginning. I paused it. I was like, I want a pizza. I called Eastside Pies and ordered a pizza. Ate half of a pizza after I'd already eaten dinner. Then went to bed. Next day, woke up, whatever. Go to get lunch. Go out, get a sandwich, come home, eat a whole sandwich. Like, oh, the sandwich is really good. I still have half of that pizza in my fridge. Heated up my pizza, then immediately ate the other half of a pizza.
Watch
I had
out.
2
Watch
dinners
out.
and then 2 lunches the next day.
He had a salad today to make up for it.
Did you?
So we're okay.
Yeah.
Did you dump more?
Did I dump
Noticeably?
more? No, not more noticeably. No. So I gained all that weight. Essentially, is what I learned
Packed
here.
in.
Well, that was happening. The sound of that vine was going through my head of Gus just eating all the pizza. Oh, yeah.
I sent Barbara a vine. I just saw it and I immediately thought Barbara's gonna love this. I showed it to I knew 2 people would love it, Ashley and Barbara. Showed it to Ashley, she laughed at it, and so I sent it to Barbara. And then Lauren picked it up too. Lauren, who does a lot of the sketches when we're watching the podcast, she also designed some of the Funhouse shirts, if I understand correctly. Yeah, she picked up on it too and loved it. Just like straight up to her. It's a lady about to take a bubble bath and she's like going, she goes, oh yeah. It's just so funny the way she does
We
it.
had
You
just
think
talked about
something's gonna happen, but nothing happens.
Nothing happens. That's it. That's
and
the
we
whole
just
thing.
talked about bats the previous podcast.
We did.
And I talked about
I
gross
forgot
sale.
about that.
And how
Here,
baths are totally fine.
Totally fine. We'll definitely
Awful.
clean you.
Gross.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by
We went to go visit Ashley's family in Utah because I don't have any obligations for Mother's Day. My boys are, of course, spending the weekend with their mother for Mother's Day, and my mother has passed away. So we went up to go see her mom and spend time with her family. And weirdest thing ever, the most impressed I've ever seen them about what we do for a living was the fact that Dollar Shave Club sponsors the podcast. Her Ashley's sister loves Dollar Shave Club for whatever reason. She was like, that's crazy. I love that company. She was going on and on about Dollar Shave Club.
it's a great service.
It is a great service.
It is.
So glad to see they're doing well. She was talking about like all the commercials they make online and everything like that.
I love having stuff I need delivered to me and sent to me to my home, and me not having to go out anywhere. It's the best.
It's happening more and more with every single service you could think of.
And I'm hiding more and more.
Yeah.
I was so happy the other day. I
You're
ordered.
hiding.
Yeah, because I don't want to see these
Oh, you're
people.
hiding yourself.
I was so happy the other day. I got some food delivered from one of those services, and the guy didn't even get out of his car. He just rolled down his window and was like, "Here you go." I grabbed it. I was like, "Thanks," and just drove off.
Does that mean you have to like walk down your stairs though? Because you're
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's work
but
for you.
I like to meet people on the street because that way they don't get lost and they know where they're going.
Gotcha.
Have you been to his house?
No.
Oh.
We
about to say
drive
that.
by it every now and then, though.
We
I'm
ever,
like, look, there it is.
Yeah. When we're coming back from lunch, he's like, I'm going to drive by my house. Or my old house.
Oh, my old house. I like driving by my old house sometimes.
do you?
Yeah.
Just to
See what
the
they're doing with
status
it?
of
Yeah. They're not doing anything.
Oh, they're not? When somebody else fixes it up like right away, you're like, I'm such a lazy prick. I didn't
No.
do any of that stuff.
I did that. I fixed that house, and now it's just falling apart again.
The dudes who had my house before me, there were two dudes that lived together and owned a hair salon. So I'm assuming that they were probably together. They had rose bushes, and I'm like, I hope they never drive by my house because the rose bushes were amazing. I'm doing nothing to maintain the rose bushes
Oh,
at this point,
no.
but they're doing fine. I mean, they all winter I was like, oh, these fucking things are dead. And then like in the spring, they blossom back up and roses all
I
over
thought
the
you were
place.
going to say, like, the second you moved in, you just, like, cut them all down.
We've talked
Fuck
about
your
it.
rose
We've talked about it. I learned that Ashley does not like cactuses.
Cacti.
She
Who
doesn't like
does?
cacti. We have like prickly pear with no prickles. It's just the
It's just
pears.
pear.
It's the pear. But we have those like some kind of like deneedled cactus in our front yard. She just hates it.
Well, 'cause
Like
it's ugly.
something about it. I don't know what it is. I haven't gotten to the bottom of
weird
it.
because they bleed.
Yeah, they're like goop. They do the goop thing.
You have
You
a
can
lot of-
slice them and they goop
You
everywhere.
have a lot of sharp plants at the front of your house.
We have sharp ones in the back too. We
I've
got those
noticed that
yuccas.
whenever I come over to your house, and it's just like I have to, like, dodge things and avoid.
Oh, because we got rose bushes and cacti. It's like it's like a fairy tale. There's like a sleeping princess somewhere in my house. It's like we're trying to keep everybody
And
away.
whenever we come over and it's, like, already dark outside, I'm terrified for my life. I'm going to prick myself on something.
Yeah, but the cactuses won't prick you.
But
They won't.
You also have, like, these leaves that are, like, really sharp at the ends.
Those are the rose bushes. Yeah,
Okay.
they get you.
Ouch.
They got
I
thorns.
became deconfused with something I found out this week.
Oh, what he said? What, you got like a moment of clarity?
No, I just like
Deconfused.
well, like I was kind of confused my whole life, and I just kind of never thought anything of it. I remember when Super Smash Brothers came out, there was this character in it called Ness, and I was like, but I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. But I was like, I recognize every other character, so I was like, what the hell's Ness? That's from Earthbound. And when I came here, I was like, yeah, what's that Ness guy? And everyone's like, yeah, Earthbound, you know. Earthbound's great, all that stuff. I found out it came out in Japan in like 1994, came out in the US 1995. It never came out in Europe.
Really?
Until 2013 when the Wii U
Oh,
came
wow.
out. And it was available for the first time in 2013.
Wow.
So originally I was just like, I guess that game I must have missed it. It was never out
Did any of
anywhere
your
in Europe.
friends in the UK ever mention that?
No.
either?
I guess everyone in Europe saw Ness for the first time in Smash Brothers.
And they just assumed it was a character.
And now they made a game for him that looks old as shit.
Yeah.
But I was finally like, oh, that makes so much sense. I thought I was an idiot because I missed this game. But it's totally normal that I wouldn't have played it.
Well, good job.
Yeah.
You're not as dumb as you thought you were.
I just think it's funny that it came out like 18 years later in Europe.
That's really bizarre. I feel like that doesn't happen anymore. Like that used to be a thing before information was as readily available. Like localization and
Yeah.
regions. Like there's not a huge
Going the other
multi-year
way.
gap anymore.
They had Avengers in the UK 2 weeks before we did.
Oh right, yeah, they did the same. Yeah,
Dan
yeah.
had seen it. They did the same thing with the first Avengers too.
Now, ever since I filmed the Sherlock Holmes scene in those woods, like there's that big slow-mo battle in the
Yeah,
second
that's
movie
a
that I worked
really
on,
great scene. By the
I
way,
just see those woods in every single movie.
yep.
Like I filmed Snow White and the Huntsman in the exact same woods. The Avengers shot, the opening scene in the Avengers was the exact same woods. It's like it's
Anything
the
from
woods.
Game of Thrones in there?
I don't know.
I would assume so, right?
Yeah.
Must be right.
It looks like it.
Probably.
That's
The woods.
it's
It's
funny
basically
once
like- what's
you
the name of the
notice
studio?
something.
What?
The name of that studio where they have those woods?
It wasn't that studio.
What's
It's kind of near Pinewood, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, that was like that.
It's
famous-
basically just like if you go there, it's a big open field, and then the woods. So you can like film as with the woods as a backdrop without having to go into the woods.
Yeah, that makes
So you can
sense.
film like right up against them, and it looks like you're in them. But
That
there's
makes
like
sense.
all this space for trucks and stuff.
Did you see Avengers yet?
I did.
What'd you
I
think?
did. I liked it. I'm not gonna do too many spoilers. I thought they really fucked up Scarlet Witch, but other than that, I thought everything was great. Like they made like Joss Whedon quit Twitter over the flack that he was getting. It's actually a lot of people are speaking on behalf of why he quit Twitter. A lot of people quit Twitter recently, like Simon Pegg quit Twitter, and Joss Whedon quit. He's the director and writer of the Avengers, and people are saying it's because he got attacked for Black Widow being a weak female character. Like she was the damsel in distress at one point in the movie, but everybody in that movie is like has trouble in that, and
She's also a badass at a lot of points.
she saves the entire team like in one little sequence. That's amazing. But yeah, it's basically like if you saw the first Avengers, there's that one shot during the battle with the aliens where they go through like all the members of the team as they're fighting and they seamlessly go from one to the next. They basically turn that one shot and sequence into the entire movie for Age of Ultron. It's just like non-stop for 2 hours. How'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. I'm very not picky when it comes to movies, though. I
liked
like the first Avengers a lot better, but I feel like this one's getting a lot of flack that it didn't deserve.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think there might be fatigue.
Did he really have to lift up that whole city and slam it back down to destroy the Earth? Couldn't he have just messed it up in a different way?
What else are you going to do? What do you mean mess up what?
The Earth.
I think he was trying to do that. He was trying to do something else and then came up with this plan. Remember he was trying to do the other thing and he couldn't do it.
But he needed vibranium for that?
No. I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
Is that in chloroform?
it's so hard to
No, it's in feet.
communicate an AI enemy because they it's all over the planet doing multiple things at one time, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't even see what it's doing. It might have been collecting the vibranium, I don't know, for a backup plan, and it needed the backup plan. That became plan number 1.
I thought it was a really cool shot when he was kind of mid-sentence and then like crushes himself with his new body.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was a great design. When I first saw the facial features of Ultron, I remember from the comic, I thought that doesn't look anything like actual Ultron, but I thought the character was great.
What does original Ultron look like?
He almost looks like a metal roach, honestly, like almost like an insect. Which
Really?
I guess you could like say
How
the
many
same
legs
thing.
did he have?
Yeah, he only had 4 legs, but he had 18 arms. Yeah.
But how many eyes?
Let me see here. I'll look up a picture of Ultron for you. Ultron comic book. You know what I was thinking about the other day too? How come nobody's made a comic book movie with a poster that looks like a comic book cover? Like, why hasn't the Avengers done the Avengers with the little box with all their heads
Is that
there?
Ultron?
That is not. That might be the newer version of Ultron. I'm thinking about the original one. I like that he does have actually 8 arms in there.
You weren't kidding.
I'll show it to Gabo if I
Wasn't
can.
the
I'm talking like the 1960s one.
wasn't the Ang Lee Hulk poster kind of comic bookish? Like that's the movie that they filmed in that comic book style. I could be wrong.
I said it with the last Avengers movie as well. I want to see a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie a lot
Oh yeah, they kind of
Cool.
gave up on those Hulk movies, man.
Yeah.
because they were pap.
What do you think about having a Black Widow movie? Or not having
That's
a Black Widow
Ultron.
movie? Okay.
That's Ultron.
Fair play.
I'll send it for link dump.
He looked less
Anybody else
scary.
can look it up. It's just Ultron.
Ultron,
looks like a-
60s Ultron.
Yeah, it just looks like a thing. But the way they did the mouth and everything, like I never liked the way they did Optimus Prime's mouth in Transformers.
This had the steel plate.
I know I liked the steel plate from the cartoon, and they gave him lips
Oh,
in the movie. And I hated that.
Right.
But the way they gave Ultron a mouth worked. Like it was different pieces that
He
like
had those 2 like circles in
Yeah.
his cheek that kind of moved out of the way sometimes.
Yep.
That's cool.
And those little pieces that came down, curved in.
And I thought James Spader as Ultron, I was like, that's never gonna work. Absolutely worked.
It was perfect.
And he didn't even change his voice at all. He's just James Spader.
Yeah. And he was
I mean,
very
obviously
human.
they modified it. They modified the sound of it, but he didn't.
Do you
do
think
an
that
accent.
he called you and asked you about your car?
He's like, you want to check in your qualified for your warranty?
That was
maybe
his
it was Ultron.
backup plan.
Oh, okay.
after the vibration?
That's the scariest thing about AI is like you don't know. It's like it seems like its first instinct once it came online or became sentient would be to hide itself. Like what if there's been one for like
Or delete itself.
10 years or delete itself? I don't think that would be
Oh,
the
okay.
first thing.
You obviously know more than me about this.
I'm saying no life form wants to kill itself.
Why? Humans kill themselves all the time.
Right,
Isn't it
but
one,
that-
isn't
that's
it one
not
of
a-
the 7 criteria for life is the ability to protect itself?
Oh, I don't know. I never heard that.
Do
One
animals,
is blood inside the body.
That's-
Yeah, not burned up.
do animals ever legitimately kill themselves? Like get
No,
depressed?
just
and-
illegitimately.
No, I mean like some animals like fall off a cliff by accident.
Did you see that video of the
But,
guy
like-
saving the sheep through the fence? And they like get its head out, and then they let go, and then they're actually on a cliff, and he accidentally lets it go, and it falls all the way down, and they're just like watching it, like
It's just like tumbling the whole way down.
fuck.
A sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a sheep.
There was also one I think I saw last week of this guy sees a moose stuck in a fence very similarly where its head is stuck through. So the guy like stops his truck, gets out, he's like, I'm gonna help this moose. He's like fucking get in the
Doing it.
fence and pushing the moose through, and then he finally gets the moose out. The moose stands up and starts charging at him and attacking him, like doing that moose thing where it's trying to bat him with his legs. And the guy's like, I helped you! And he's like trying to keep this moose at bay,
Wow.
running away from it.
Yeah, that moose doesn't know shit. Thinks you're trying to mess with
The
it.
moose knows it's angry, and you're right in front of it.
Yeah.
Yep. So no, ability to protect itself is not one of the 7 characteristics of life.
What are the 7 characteristics?
They're a little rough here. The article that I have here is from.
what is-
Oh, this is him saving the sheep.
Oh!
I
Why?
like the hand on the
Jeez, look at it go! It looks like that cheese wheel that they do with the guys
rolling.
chasing it. I totally want to do that.
I don't know what he was expecting though. He's on a steep cliff. Where's he gonna put it?
You would think the sheep could fucking stand. It got up there.
It did. That's true.
God, I want to film cheese rolling in slow-mo so bad.
Oh,
Just
you
to be
could
at the
do
bottom
that.
of the hill and just watch people just bounce.
You're like, oh my god. People just break bones doing that all the time, don't they? Where is that? Is that UK or is that Ireland?
Maybe I could do it when I'm back.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Ireland's part of the
Forever,
UK,
right?
right?
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck up by saying that. Yeah.
We I don't want to get into like the did you see video portion of the podcast, but there was another one I saw. There was another one I saw where this guy was at the running of the bulls, and he's standing in the middle of the street, like taking a picture with his back to where the bulls are coming from.
Oh no!
And this bull just like kind of sees him and slowly walks up and boom, just like does the head
Does
thing.
he just
and
have pictures
flying.
of a bunch of people running away?
And then picture of the sky.
A bunch of people pointing like...
It's so fucking weird. Like it almost makes you wonder. Like, did he stand out there on purpose? Like you would feel a bull walking up behind you, right?
You'd
Hear
have to.
it.
With a breath.
It was just bizarre. I wish
Yeah.
truly
Truly
could find
bizarre.
more context sometimes
That
on
is
that stuff.
strange.
But I was like, nah, it's funny. I watched it a couple times. Like, all right, that's enough. Moved on to the next thing.
Can we, Gus? We talked about this the other night. Have you ever posted a selfie? Do you think like you've taken?
I'm sure I have. Yeah,
Like just you though. You just take a picture of yourself and post it up.
I must have. Yeah,
Like-
I'll say yes.
But like you have to think about it. Like you've done maybe like if you've done 10, have you done 20?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
So have you never done it? Have you never been like going out for dinner with Ashley and then you just take a cheeky selfie?
Totally do that. Totally do that.
But of
Here's
yourself.
what's driving me crazy now about the culture is that people take selfies for literally everything. For everything. Like Barbara went down to Australia, took a picture at the beach. It's a picture of her, you know? Takes a picture of herself. That's selfie. You know, or like somebody says, hey, my hair's on point, you know, or something today. And they take a picture. I
On
expect when I
fleek.
click that, I'm like, on the fleek, is it on the fleek or fleek?
On fleek.
On fleek.
Or on
What does that mean? I don't know. I keep hearing that. Okay, there we go.
Fleek.
It's on point.
Here we are using selfie.
It
and
looks great.
And we're talking about we don't understand what fleek means. We're going to laugh at ourselves. But when someone says like my hair's on point and there's a picture, I expect to click a picture and see the person. I totally expect that. When someone's like, it's cold outside, and then there's a picture, I'm like, click. I'm going to see snow. Nope, it's their fucking dumb face. Why is everything a picture of somebody's goddamn face
But
now?
are they at least like, brr?
Yeah, or it's just like them in the wind and they've got this. The same fucking pose that they've established is their good
Are you
pose.
talking about John Reisinger?
Well, John Reisinger's one of them, but it's everybody. I mean, I don't want to call anybody out because everybody fucking does it. Here's
All right,
somebody
take
we
it
know
back.
and respect.
Oh, that has been annoying me a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like, look at this wall of cool stuff, and it's the person standing in front of the fucking wall, and you
Yeah.
can't see the fucking wall of stuff.
If you
check
could
out my
see
new
through my
chair,
head,
it's-
you'd be impressed.
What is that? Why do, that's new. Like, front-facing cameras are a relatively new thing. Like, the last 3 years? 4 years?
Like 10 years ago we had those.
10 years we've had front-facing
No,
cameras.
we haven't had iPhones 10 years.
They didn't start on iPhones. Like flip phones had cameras in the front with screens on
I
them.
used to have a camera that you could take the screen and flip it.
I've
so you
got a
could see yourself.
selfie from like 2002 on a phone.
The selfies existed. People would take them to mirrors too. I mean, people have taken self-portraits a lot of times. Or just they kind of just do it and then they look at it. You know what I mean? But it got to be so prevalent that they made a front-facing camera for it. I mean, in the history of cinematography, there's never been a camera that had two lenses on it, pointing in two different directions. That had to be invented so that people could take photos of themselves, basically. I mean, they probably got it through because of teleconferencing, which nobody uses it for. Everybody just takes fucking photos of themselves.
No, they
like,
use
look,
it.
I'm eating dinner. It's like, then there's a picture. You don't even see the fucking dinner anymore. You just see their fucking dumb face every fucking time.
I think a lot of it has to do with like if you're following someone who you admire, like let's say a celebrity of some sort, you don't care if they're posting a picture of something because that could be anybody's picture. But when you see them in the picture,
But it's not just
Every
celebrities who
time?
do it.
Well,
I
I
know.
think it's also the expression.
every time,
like
but-
emojis are huge because it's just like a face. Selfie is just a very detailed emoji. It's like this is what I'm feeling right
Bernie's
now.
leaving.
Bernie got that angry.
I'm gonna appeal to younger audience.
What's he doing?
You're in
Y'all
the-
have this planned?
This is the great.
What is-
Check out our podcast set, everybody. So it's the best podcast set.
It's fine.
You
'cause
guys
can
see
still
what Gus
me.
is wearing today? You see what he's wearing? It's the best thing ever. Hey, everybody. Look, we're having such a great time on the podcast. Thanks for coming to the podcast.
When did he set this up?
Right before the podcast, he's asking for a walking mic.
I mean, this is entertaining, right? Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Put the light closer to his face.
It looks like you're on a really bad green screen.
I look like it's a hostage video in a weird way. I mean, this is like everything. It's like, check it out. I'm at the Rooster Teeth Podcast set. And it's like, this would be the photo. This is exactly what you'd see. Somebody's dumb fucking face blocking what you
It's because it's
tune in
proof
for.
that you were there.
I bet in 4 years we're going to be doing all of our podcasts just like this.
We should just set up face cams with each mic. We could have a camera right here.
Burnie, I gotta say, your skin's looking on point today,
on
especially
fleek.
up close.
That would be an appropriate use of that then.
Man, that conversation, looking back on it, when we were confused about the word selfie, we just look like idiots.
I know.
That's what this podcast is going to be in the future. It's just like, what a bunch of...
A time capsule of dumb.
I thought it was called a selfie. I didn't remember thinking this. I thought it was called a selfie because it was taken on a cell phone. I thought it was like
Right.
Oh.
Selfie.
Yeah, and you guys
That's
said it wasn't
how
a thing.
I didn't. That's how much
I
I,
just
didn't
kept
know.
calling it a cam whore.
Yeah. so look, so that was not that long ago. That was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
It had to be 3 years ago. Yeah, because the person, by the way, that told me the term selfie was Ashley in Australia. Mm-hmm. And it was like, if that was the case, then...
And then you doinked.
What's that?
What?
Not... Listen.
She sat on his foot.
I played the part of the rubber buoy that evening.
Rubber buoy, rubber buoy. So we got our first selfie response here. Zanny Wright on
He's
Twitter
watching the podcast?
sent his I'm watching the podcast photo in.
That's a great selfie. 10 points.
So fast. That is so
Oh, God.
fucking fast.
Look at it's the Rooster Teeth Podcast. That's the Rooster Teeth Podcast right there. I like that he blocked the rest of the set.
Yeah, he just sees your dumb face.
Fucking dumb face and everything. Everybody's gotta put their big dumb face and everything.
So who do you think takes the most selfies?
Oh, I don't know. Everybody does
Of
it.
the people you know.
Everybody does it, but we can't like accept that it's a normal thing now. I mean, it's like literally everybody. It's like
It is though.
here is the space shuttle, my dumb face, and it's like then there's a white tail fin coming out of the back of my head. I mean, that's it. It's like they're not going to be able to build any like data for what took place for the last 5 years because it's just people blocked by people's faces.
No, but we have enough cameras where you can piece together the missing data and cover people's faces. Like we have enough angles and like sides of pictures.
Will
We
there
put it all
eventually
together.
be some sort of hat you can wear that does like a 360-degree selfie and you can like rotate around the person's head? I bet there will.
I bet there will be.
I tried to do that with a panoramic photo of your face one time.
Yeah.
Where I just took a
Like,
picture
stretch
like
it
this way.
And then you can put it in a jar with water and it looks like there's a head in the jar.
Yeah. I want to do that one day.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
We should have that RTX.
This might be my favorite screen cap of all time, by the way.
Your face.
That's why I don't take selfies
It's just
right there.
Bernie's face.
I
super
took a lot
shadow.
of dumb selfies with YouTubers the other week. Got one with Markiplier and Tomska.
You and I take a selfie every week.
Taking a photo with somebody else though and saying, "Hey, look, I just met Markiplier." If I
Yeah.
just saw you like a photo of Markiplier standing there, that would be a little weird. I would expect to see you and Markiplier in a photo together. Somebody's at the beach, like going, "Hey, check it out! I look great today in a bikini or whatever." Click, and they take a photo of themselves at the beach. That seems totally normal to me, you know.
Saying,
but like,
hey, I met Tomska, and you're in front of him, blocking him with your face.
exactly.
What if you're seeing a space shuttle and you're taking a selfie, but it's like next to you, so you're not actually blocking it?
It's just like
It's a slippery slope, Barbara.
it is a slippery slope. It's like what is the inclination is always like the face goes in the photo first, no matter what
Yeah.
it is.
Well, that's what I started
first,
doing.
and then the other thing is always secondary.
I'm in the middle of that series I'm doing, a series where I go to a landmark and I take a picture with it. But I'm like way too close to it to be able to see what it is.
What's
are you talking
series?
about?
That's called everybody's vacation photos ever. I mean, what did you think you came up with taking photos? With
Groundbreaking.
No, but I'm like-
it's a series now.
No, but I'm like,
No,
almost
no,
like
no.
really close to it.
Hey, Gavin, you should do a thing like where when you travel, you take clothes with you. Everybody, instead of buying them like the rest of us do when we show up places. You ever think about that? You could get like some kind of compartment thing. You
So
carry
what
with
I'm
you.
doing has been done already, you're saying?
It's been done
By
since
everyone.
No, but
it's been done since the camera was invented. That might have been the first picture
what's
ever
an
fucking
example?
taken.
What's an example?
Like I was
What's
like I was by London Bridge, but I'm like right up against it. So you
Oh,
can't
I've never
tell
seen
what
a picture of London Bridge. Thank God you took one.
Someone visiting London Bridge and taking a picture with it?
so you're like up against
Scandalous.
it, so you can't actually tell what
Yeah,
it is.
like by Big Ben, but I'm like up against the door, so you can't tell it's Big Ben. Like it's pointless.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
God damn! Why did it take so long for you to understand what
It
I'm
took you
Because
so
it
long
just-
to explain it.
Why you wouldn't let me?
I missed the last part. That's actually really funny. When
he
you say
said
here I
way
am,
too close to them.
Here I am at Big Ben. He's way too close. You can tell
Yeah.
that's Big Ben.
Did it at Buckingham Palace? Did the London Eye? I'm just like by the support beam of the London Eye.
Gavin, I apologize.
I'm glad,
I jumped on you too quickly.
glad we settled.
Happens sometimes. That's a very funny
I want to
series.
get the
I don't
Eiffel Tower.
apologize.
I want to get the pyramids. I think it'd be great. Like one brick
One
of the
brick of
pyramid.
the
Would be
pyramid?
great.
Just go take a picture. It's insane. and
Because
say
it's
that
funny
you're
because
doing it.
people will be like, "You didn't go there, otherwise you would have taken a picture of the pyramids." It's like, no, I did. That's the pyramids.
That's
I
it.
was really there.
As good as
Do
gets.
you take a normal photo as well, just to be?
Nah, what's the
fuck
point? I was really there. I know.
Just
it was
for
the
yourself.
pyramids.
We got to wrap up.
right.
We're at time. I want to. There's one thing I want to add before we go. Believe it or not, for the first time in maybe 4 or 5 years, we're running low on podcast theme songs.
Oh, really?
So I have not plugged it in forever. So if you have a theme song you want us to play, send it to send it to podcast@roosterteeth.com. There you go. Send us your original 30-second podcast theme. Either attach it or send a link where we can download it. It's much better to attach it if possible. That way we can have it archived and saved.
I also want to plug the new shirt we have in store today. It's a new red versus blue shirt. It comes in both men's and women's cut. So,
Lady shirt.
Ladies, I know we need more shirts, so this is one of them.
There it is.
That's a good looking shirt. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next Monday.
I won't
Love
be.
you.
Where are you
Bye,
going?
everybody.
You gonna be on?